Welcome to Camping World Stadium for this Legacy Classic matchup against Jones and Tampa Jesuit. It should be a slugfest, at least to start off the game.
No doubt about it. You know, when we came out here, we were down on the field for the last 45 minutes around both of these teams. These are two standard teams, excellent teams. Last year, John, they almost ended up in the state championship against each other.
Absolutely, they were in the semifinals, and you see a battle-tested schedule. This year, these guys, by the time they hit playoffs, they're ready to battle the best teams in the state because they've already been seeing the best teams in the state.
No doubt about it. And last year, 2022, St. Thomas beat Jesuit in that semifinal game, 45-3, and Jones lost to Homestead, 30-24. That following week, state championship game, St. Thomas wins their 7th in a row, 38-21 over Homestead.
Yeah, St. Thomas, I mean, that's always a juggernaut. Everyone goes, well, let's see how far we can go until we have to face them. But I'll tell you what, these teams have some real athletes. They can compete at a very high level. And I look forward to seeing how their seasons play out. It doesn't really matter what happens tonight. These guys are both going to be in contention.
No doubt about it. We're talking about talent. We saw a lot of talent on there a little while ago. Let's talk about the Jones Tigers, the home team.
Yes,
starting with number 3, Trevor Jackson, Elite 11 quarterback, competed at that national level. Still uncommitted. He still has not made his decision. He's supposed to be dropping that here in the next couple weeks. But the 6'3", 195-pound senior is ready to start his senior campaign here in Orlando.
He looked great in warm-ups. I was standing down there. His balls were just the timing look impeccable. This early in the season, when you see that kind of timing already happening, you go, okay, they're locked and loaded.
And on the other side of the ball, you've got the Texas commit and the big man, number 6, DeAndre Robinson, 6'4", 305. He can be an animal when he wants to be. And I tell you what, I can't wait to see him line up against that Jesuit offensive line.
Yeah, they've got some nice hogs on that Jesuit offensive line, but he looked fired up. He was dancing as he was coming out of the tunnel tonight out there. He's ready for some football.
So let's talk about the Tampa Jesuit. Let's start with their quarterback. He's a sophomore, but he's a sensation. 6'3", 225. at 16 years old.
I mean, the kid does not look like a 16-year-old kid. He looks ready-made senior, ready to play at the next level, but he's still got 2 more years to develop, and that's exciting to see.
And he already has multiple offers. I've talked to his quarterback coach, former Buccaneer Jeff Carlson, before the game, and he said, Dan, this guy is for real. I have seen him compete, and you look at him physically, John, he is a good-sized kid, 6'3", 225, and it is solid.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's no little tire around the waist or anything like that. This kid, it looks like an athlete, and he's ready to perform.
And I tell you what, he's got some weapons on offense. And we're going to start with number 2, Justin Thurman, the Notre Dame commit. And he's only a junior. He has 2 more years to go. Incredible, 6 foot 185 going into his junior year. But even on the outside of the ball, he's got number 13, Bryson Goodwin, who is a Temple commit, 6'2", 180, and even Gary Givens, 6'2", 190. So they got size on the outside.
Absolutely, they do. And we got a little insider information that number 8. So not when you're going to see the stats that have already been pre-built. Max Hunt, he's a wide receiver. He's a junior. He's 6'5", 195. He's got a frame to fill in. But I'll tell you what, he looked like a nice-sized kid. And out there in pregame, I thought, well, I want to watch this kid and see how he develops.
We were talking about some of those offensive linemen. Let's talk about it's Gavin Blanchard, guard. Yeah. He's a junior, 6'3", 300, getting multiple offers right now. Coach Thompson, talked to him before the game, Coach Matt Thompson for Jesuit, and he is high on this young man. Yeah,
we're looking to see, should be a road grader, 6'3", 300 pounds. Into high school level, you should be able to open up a few holes.
And also Robert Bogle, number 68, 6'2", 270. So they have the guys, and that's going to be exciting to watch. Mr. Thurman run that ball behind those big boys.
Absolutely. When you got a Notre Dame commit running behind some big hosses like that, it's going to be some fun running the ball for sure.
Yeah, we're going to get ready for kickoff here. Dan LaForest with John Ruggles, and this is going to be a good one. And when you see kickoff classics, there's so many ways to take a look at it.
It looks like we're going live on the kickoff. We weren't sure 100% if that's how that kickoff was going to roll here, but they're getting lined up and ready to go. These young men, their hearts are pounding like peanut butter. And the season is getting going. You're going to smash mouth against some other. As he's taken off up to the 30-yard line. Nice little return just short of the 30. Going to be spotted on the 28-yard line, it looks like. And that's where they're going to begin their opening drive of the night for Jones.
Yeah, that was number 10, Jalen Smith. Kick returner, wide receiver, 5'7", 165. You'll see him in the slot tonight, John, and he is quick. I saw him in the spring game against Apopka, and I think it was the second play, took it right up the seam for a touchdown.
I saw those afterburners just kick in real quick when he was kind of jogging a little bit, and then he kicked it in and got himself another 5 yards.
Starting for Jones at quarterback is number 7, Darion Coleman, sophomore, another young guy, 6 foot 160.
Nice to see the young guy. He was also throwing the ball really accurate in warm-ups. He's able to get that low snap and get it off and get it in the hands of someone that knows what to run with it.
Looks like a 3-yard pickup for number 0, Jarian Parker, the senior, 5'11", 200 for Orlando Jones for the Tigers.
Coming up on second down and a little under 8.
John, typically we don't know what kickoff classics looks like. Sometimes they're controlled by the coaches, but it looks like we're going to play a full game here so far.
Little run pass option, throws it deep, and he mosses him.
Nice catch, number 1, Vernell Brown.
They're down on the 25-yard line as they're coming into the red zone here, getting ready to put something up. Second play of the game, they throw it deep. He jumps over top of the guy and grabs that football.
Yeah, the junior, 6 foot 175. His father played for the University of Florida as well as the head coach for Jones, Elijah Williams.
Nice. Well, you can tell he's a coach's kid. He didn't panic at all. He just looked at that ball into his hands and he just, reached over top of the defender and got it in.
They're big on Vernell. He is going to have a great season this year and has 2 years with Coach Williams.
That's going to be exciting to watch. They give it up the middle. Got a little bit of room. Yeah, we're looking at about a 5-yard gain, and it's going to be on the 20-yard line for 2nd and 5.
Jerian Perker on the carry again, and that's going to be the key, I think, to Jones' success this year is we know they've got speedy wide receivers. They know we have two talented quarterbacks, but running the ball is going to be big for that offensive line to stay consistent throughout this season.
They're getting tested tonight with a defensive line that's moving around a lot. I like the movement that you're seeing out of that Jesuit defensive line and being able to get across there to come and get some tackles. That opened up for the linebacker to get in there and get that tackle.
Yeah, it looks like number 88, Anthony Ramada, sophomore, 6'3", 240, another young guy, big, solid kid, still has some growing to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice size athletes out there all over both rosters, that's for sure. Getting lined up for 3rd down and 4. A little more like 3. 3rd down and 3, I think, Dan. Gonna put it up in the air.
Throwing off his back foot.
Oh, and I think he got him. Yes, he did. Yes, touchdown for Jones. Nice opening drive. The run game a little bit slow coming here at the beginning of the season, but the pass game has no problem throwing over there in the corner of the end zone.
No doubt. And that was a great catch by number 1, Vernell Brown. We talked about him a couple plays earlier. Great concentration.
Yep.
That was great concentration to be able to pull that ball in.
Absolutely. Kind of a little floater, just trusted his wide receiver to go get it.
And a kick for Jones. Trying to see a number. We're up here. This is Camping World Stadium, John. We're not at a high school stadium, so
That's correct.
We're a good country mile up here.
Absolutely.
But looks like the kick is good.
We got it in, so that's a 7-point advantage now for Jones. Nice opening drive. We'll get the ball over into Jesuit's hand and see what they can do with it. But at the beginning of the season, it's nice to see that they're connecting up. It was what I was seeing in the pregame. The wide receivers and the quarterbacks looked to be in sync, already mid-season form in their connection and knowing where each other was going to be those routes. That's what we get now in high school football that you didn't get years ago. With the 7-on-7, with all the things that are happening during the offseason, these quarterbacks and wide receivers can stay in good connection with each other all throughout the whole season or through the offseason so that when they come into the season, they're ready to roll.
Well, and there's so many different programs in the offseason. And that's one of the challenges for a lot of these head coaches is having that ability to work with their kids. There are independent 7-on-7s. They go play with other kids from other high schools. But you're right. I'm a former quarterback, and I can tell you having the ability to have off-season training with my guys is the difference in how you're going to perform on the field during the fall.
Yeah, it's great for them for recruiting to go play with the other top recruits and all those guys. But if they can connect with their high school wide receivers, their quarterback, then boy, that can make a difference in the season for sure.
So hang in there with us, guys. We're going to have our time reading numbers today, but we're going to do the best thing we can.
We got a kickoff. He's going to receive that at just about the 14-yard line. Coming up the side, got some nice blocking. Got just short of the 30-yard line, about the 20. It's about the same place that on the opposite side that Jones started their drive at.
Yeah, and I tell you, Jesuit's got a couple dual numbers. So that was either it looked like it may have been number 3, Willie Suarez, the wide receiver, senior, 5'11", 185. But there is another number 3, Jace Martino, sophomore cornerback, 5'8", 130.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can get that information on who's getting those kickoffs.
Well, we're going to get our first look at number 11, Will Griffin, the sophomore sensation.
1st and 10 for the 28. Hands it off up the middle. Not much there. Helmet flying off on one of the Jesuit players. And, looked like running up between the tackles may be a little bit tough tonight against that Jones defensive front.
Yeah, and I tell you, we talked about DeAndre Robinson, the big Texas commit, and he's a load and he's solid. He's got a solid body on him. He's going to be a force to reckon with. But that entire defensive line for Jones has got some motor on him.
Yeah, Jesuit had a hard time digging him out. It's a 2nd down and 11. We'll see what they can do here in a little bit longer situation. They were looking to pass for sure. It was all pass, but we got a flag on there.
And Jones's defense is a little bit different this year. Same structure, but 2 different coaches. Andrew Anderson left, who had been the defense coordinator for the last few years, took the head job down the road at Oak Ridge High School.
Yes, sir.
Bill Daniel now is the defense coordinator for Jones. And Bill has been an offensive coordinator in the area for a number of years.
Now 2nd and 16 from the 22-yard line, but we've got a timeout called. So yeah, well, maybe rethink things here for real quick for a Jesuit as they just kind of figure out what you're going to do. You don't know that this quickly in your season you're going to be making decisions about what do you do on 2nd and 16.
Well, the thing is, too, is, we don't know if the coaches have the play scripted the first series. Correct. I've never been a fan of scripting plays, but I understand why you do it. You want to see how defenses are going to react to what plays you're setting. It's like playing chess.
Absolutely.
You're setting the board to what the rest of the game looks like. But, Jesuit, we're going to have to see them probably throw the ball here on 2nd and 15.
Absolutely. Well, I know for me, when I, as a high school head football coach, I would script my plays, but I'd script it for situational for that opponent. So I would think that these coaches have a play for this kind of situation, a 2nd down and long, and we'll see what they've got scripted up going against Jones this year.
All right, so we're going to see what Will Griffin does here on 2nd and 15. Trips down to the bottom of the field.
Oh,
nice ball.
Oh. Yeah, if the defender would have came up, they would have got a nice shot in his ribs on that. That sailed high on him, and I thought they might get a pickoff behind him on that.
Yeah, that was number 13, Bryson Goodwin. We talked about him earlier, 6'2", 180, the Temple commit. He should have come down with that ball.
He should have. Touch your hands. You gotta catch the football. Well, we're 3rd and 16 now, so we'll see what they can do in this situation. Scanning the field. Oh, okay, he scrambles a little bit, gets out of the pocket, gets the ball off, but it's way short. He kind of couldn't get into the throw. He had some pressure in his face, and he kind of had to throw it off the back foot. Well, we're going to see our first look at the punt team now. Not a good opening drive for Jesuit, but again, early in the season, let's let them settle in, see what they can do here on the 2nd drive when they get a chance.
Well, and we talked about this before. Kickoff Classic is about seeing where you are. I mean, this is really the first time you've had live contact in most cases, unless you've had referee scrimmages in the last couple of weeks. But you only get 3 weeks of practice before you get ready for that first game.
For sure. And these kids, they come in, they're in Camping World Stadium. There's butterflies going everywhere. They're just trying to figure out the season and trying to get ready to go. But both these teams are going to be fine no matter what happens tonight.
Nice punt.
Yeah, it was a really nice punt. He's going to pick that up at the 39. He takes off. He's brought down, though, at I'm going to say about the 47-yard line, it looks like.
Again, that was number 1, Vernell Brown III with the punt return.
He has a nice burst of speed as soon as that ball hits his
He
hand.
really did. That's usually what you want to see in a punt returner is to get out of that hole quick. There's not a lot to read, man. Get upfield, then start to look for your blocks.
Right. Do not go east-west, get north-south, and get in a hurry.
All right. Looks like we got a quarterback change. It looks like Trevor Jackson's in the game.
Nice to see him.
And it is.
Okay, the run game looks a little bit more alive here in the first down. And then they're going to be about a 7-yard gain on that first down, and they're getting right back up to the ball, ready to go. It's going to be 2nd down and about a little over 3. I'll give it 6 yards and say it's 4. So 2nd down and 4.
And again, Trevor Jackson, a 6'3", 195-pound quarterback.
Oh, flea flicker! Here we go. He's throwing it deep. He's got a man.
Oh, just out of his hands. Number 8. Looks like number 8, Jaquez Varner, the 5'9", 160 senior, just couldn't get to it, John.
I like drawing up the trick play early, seeing how it works. They've probably been practicing that during the offseason, say, I'll give kids a little bit of love and let them play a little bit. And that was a fun play for sure. Love the flea flicker.
And why not? You're setting up now with a 3rd and short. You got about 3rd and 4. Now you can go back to a more realistic play to try to get that first down.
Absolutely. Hands it off right up the middle and easily gets the first down, +2. You know, that's what we always talk about, culture with these football teams. I know one of the cultures that I always had with my football teams is you want to have a +2 mentality. So whenever you're trying to get that first down, you want to get at least 2 more yards beyond that. He did a nice job, powered through those tackles, and got that first down.
And anymore, John, this RPO, read pass option,
Yes.
is been a predominant offense the last few years here in high school football. And we're seeing that so much more in the college level.
Absolutely.
Nice run up the middle.
Wow, they just parted the Red Sea there on that one, and he had just a lane that, you know, maybe I could have even ran through, Dan.
That was big. And I tell you, that offensive front up there for Jones is taking control early in this game. Nice run by number 0, Jerian Parker, this 5'11", 200-pound senior. Looked good running that ball up the middle.
Absolutely. That first series, they were getting maybe 3 yards a pop on the run game, and the throwing game really looked good. This time, you know what? That run game is looking very, very solid. I'm going to expect that they're going to be doing that the rest of the game. Oh, we quarterback keeper, and I'll tell you what, when those guards pulled, they just had a nice front on that. He was able to go out there, pick up about 8 yards, we'll say 8 yards on that first down.
A nice job by Trevor Jackson with that read option. Faking that belly. He has the option of giving that ball away to that running back or pulling it. He saw the flow of the linebackers and took off to the left.
Absolutely. You know, those linebackers, after that last run, I think they're a little scared. They're going downhill at that run. And then when he pulled it and took off, those guards were out there in front of him, and he was able to take off.
Now they're in 3 wide receivers, got an H-back in the backfield.
See what they do on second and short. They're inside, just outside the 10-yard line.
Wide receiver screen.
Quick throw.
Does it look? He looks close to a first down. They may have gotten the spot.
Yeah, I think the way they're walking up, they got a first down. Yep, they're giving them a first down. It's going to be first down and 7 yards. So that's it's going to be a nice position for Jones to begin. And we've got another timeout out there in the field. Get everybody ready and right and see what's going to be set up for first down and 7. But it's first and goal, and so Jones is going to be looking to score another one before Jesuit has an opportunity to score any points on the board. Like you said, these are 2 powerhouse programs, and to start off the season with these 2 matching up with each other, it's really going to give the entire state a little bit of knowledge about where each program's at.
No doubt about it. And, you know, what's exciting about a new season is, you know, what do your kids look like? You know, everybody wants to talk about what they did last year. But this is a whole new team, even with some guys that are coming back.
Absolutely.
Especially now with open enrollment. We see kids moving from school to school. A lot of these kids may not even come in until 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely. So, yeah, again, we talked about that timing with quarterback and wide receiver. That's also the timing with the offensive line, because that's like synchronized swimming out there. That offensive line has to be fully together, 1 unit, 5 men.
You know, you and I had the pleasure of doing media days together over in Tampa, and we had a good time with the Tampa Jesuit Tigers and also the other 28 programs that we had at Raymond James Stadium. You know, the offensive linemen are always the guys that I ask, what did you guys do together in the offseason?
Yes, because if they're not together, it's going to be a long season, that's for sure. Oh, that was really good. I thought he was going to be able to scramble out of that tackle, but number 17 there for Jesuit was able to get him down.
Yeah, and I tell you, that was Peter Pazanski. We saw him at Media Day, 6'3", 280-pound senior committed to North Carolina.
I'll tell you what, for a 280-pound kid, he moves really well.
And that is why he is committed to North Carolina.
Well, yeah, that does kind of usually correlate with one another.
You know, Power 5 offers are very difficult these days.
Absolutely.
You know, we've seen a change in how high schools are. Back up the middle.
Right up there, right up the gut.
Nice run by Parker again for about 4.
I'll tell you what, they're able to get 4 and more yards on this drive on everything between the tackles that they ran. That's a good sign for that offensive line really starting to come together here in drive number 2. Well, it's third down.
Right up the middle again.
Again, got nice yardage. Really the only thing that's stopped him was on that pass play where he had a scramble and a nice play, you know, to get him down in the backfield.
4th down, and I think Coach Will is going to go for it here. Coach Elijah Williams.
This would be a big boost mentally for Jesuit if they're able to get a stop here and keep him on the end zone. 4th down.
Looked like a little bit of movement there on that defensive front, but they pulled back.
Yeah, you want to see what they were going to set up in.
Coach Will's making some changes, some checks there at the line of scrimmage with his
Absolutely.
quarterback, Trevor Jackson.
He's got him where he wants him now. We'll see what they've got. He pulls it. He's going to throw it. He's scrambling around. Oh, he had the guy.
Outside the arms. Who is that?
Trying to see that number down there.
Looks like number 1, Vernell Brown.
Yeah.
What an effort to get back. Ball was thrown a little low, but,
Yeah.
Trevor Jackson did not have a whole lot of choices there to stick that ball in there. But, again, young, it's young in the season. That timing still isn't right where you want it to be. And, taking a look at the schedules coming up as we get ready for Jesuit. Jesuit, come on. We're going to talk about these schedules here in a few minutes.
So they're on their own 5-yard line, 1st and 10, and we'll see if they can get a drive going. That would be a 95-yard drive. That would be great for their mentality. It didn't start well. They are almost backed up to the goal line now after that first down drive where, again, that Jones defensive front is just coming in strong, and I just don't know if Jesuit's offensive line is ready for them right now.
And guys, I would love to have the number of who made that stop, but I cannot see those numbers from up here. Second and 11 for Jesuit with Will Griffin in his end zone.
Never like your quarterback's heels standing in the end zone, and didn't get much on down 2 as well. Maybe back to the original line of scrimmage, but I think even still a little bit shy of that. We're looking at 3rd and 11 on the 4, maybe just shy of the 5-yard line.
And John, we're seeing Jesuit stick with that running game, even in that situation. This might be game planned by the offensive staff. Again, Kickoff Classic, I hate to say you don't care who wins. These guys do care who wins.
They do.
Again, from a coaching philosophy, you want to make sure these guys have seen situations.
Correct. No, they're going to play situational football, whether it's what they'd call in the regular season or not. Nice little pitch and catch out there. It gets them a few yards. It doesn't give them anything. They're going to have to punt the ball away here on 4th down.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to run some kind of a waggle, and that backside slant. Somebody must have got stuck because that backside slant was the only way he could go to.
Yeah.
And Jones' defender was there to take care of that. 4th down, Jesuit's back to punt again.
Well, Jones is going to have great field position set up by that great drive they had in their second drive of the game. And we'll see. They're going to be set up to punch it in again here in drive 3. 4th and 5, ball is snapped. Low punt. Fielded, he dropped it for a second there, but then he takes off. He avoids the first tackle, and he avoids the second tackle, but he could not get out of that 3rd. He's going to be down there at about the 47 of Jesuit. So they're set up on Jesuit's side of the field to get started for that next drive.
And that was a great tackle by number 15, Donovan Colby, junior, 6'2", 195. And I tell you, Jesuit has got some height on their team.
They definitely do. They've got really tall athletes all over the field. Well, they're set up on the 48-yard line going in, and we're going to get another look at this Jones offensive group.
Yeah, and back out on the field, number 7, Darian Coleman, the sophomore. Looks like they're going to go series for series with their 2 quarterbacks.
It sure does, and they gave it just a little bit off tackle right there to see what they could get, and they got about a 4-yard gain on the first down. We'll be seeing 2nd down at the 44-yard line.
And I tell you, number 0, Jarian Parker for Jones, is getting the workload tonight. They have been very consistent in making sure that the quarterbacks are reading that read pass option or that run pass option, and they're seeing that offensive line take care of business. Another 7-yard gain on that, John.
Yeah, absolutely, right up between left guard and the center, and just when you can get gashes like that right up the gut, I'll tell you what, you feel good as a coach. You know that it's going to be a nice day for you. You can keep your defensive rested, and you can just drive the football. I gotta believe.
Looks like we got a penalty there.
Yeah, Coach Williams is feeling good at where his offensive line, the way they're playing tonight so far. But yeah, that's going to take him back a little bit. I didn't see what the penalty was they're about to say here, I think.
No, I didn't catch it. They're going to run it here.
Offside.
Oh, there we
Jones. Here we go. We got 2nd and 11 now.
There, we got Twins at the top of the field. Up the middle again with Thurman. I'm sorry, with Parker.
Well, with getting the amount of yards they're getting in the run game, really not a big pressure on 2nd and long to have to pass it. You really have both options available to you. Get yourself into more reasonable 3rd down position. They're 3rd and 7 here. It can be picked up fairly easily. Whether they run or pass, I'm so confident in what their offensive line is doing right now.
And Twins at the top of the field for Jones as Darian Coleman takes a look at the field.
He's throwing it.
Nice throw and a slant.
I'll tell you what, slant at all levels of football, if you've got that timing down and you can deliver that ball, it's really hard to defend a well-executed slant.
And again, that looks like number 8, Jacques Varner, the senior wide receiver, speedy 5'9", 160 with that on that catch.
Will they be lining up for 1st down and 10 from the 34-yard line? It's a give up the middle, but this time no room as the defense for Jesuit. Is that number 17 again making that big stop? Yeah, I've got 17. It looks like on that.
Yeah, Peter Pazanski, the senior, 6'3", 280, but also on the run, that was Dante Wallace, the sophomore, 5'10", 185. And I'll tell you, both teams have a good mix of young talent. It's not senior loaded, really, on either one of these rosters.
No, these rosters are going to be good for the future as a coach, and you want to get those young guys touches because, like you said, there's not a transfer portal at the high school level, but these kids do move. They would go to other programs if they don't feel like it's the right place for them to be at their high school career, and so you want to get them touches early and let them know that you love them. We got another timeout on the field.
We were talking about the future schedules. We take a look at
end of the first quarter. That's where we're at.
Oh, the end of the first quarter. So we're going to be switching sides here for a minute. So,
Yes,
but let's talk a little bit about the 2023 schedules,
Yes,
and we'll
sir.
start with Tampa Jesuit. They've got their first win or their first game next week at home against Wharton. Now, Temple Wharton's one heck of a program.
Absolutely. They've got a lot of athletes walking around Wharton, and so they're going to have their hands full for sure there.
Then they're on the road. They got to go across the state to Port St. Lucie and play Treasure Coast.
I'll tell you what, just those long bus rides, those are either galvanizers, they're going to bring your team together, or they come in wore out, and you go, as a coach, you're always a little nervous about what that's going to mean.
And then, and Treasure Coast had the interesting story last year. They actually were 5-5, but they played a loaded schedule. They were not afraid to play the biggest talent in the state. Yeah. As we get started here, we'll get into that schedule here later in the second quarter.
2nd and 9 here from, 36-yard line. Got a little motion, trying to get the defense to get a little discipline. They were not, but then they can't get the guy down, so they end up with a positive, maybe of less than a yard, maybe just back to the original. To the line of scrimmage there, it'll be 3rd and 9 as well. But I'll tell you what, he avoided some stuff that would have gave him a bigger loss for sure.
No doubt about it. And again, that's number 1, Vernell Brown, and he showed right away that he wants to make a play and make positive yards.
For sure, we're going to see big things here out of this young man for this 2023 campaign for sure. Getting lined up here for this 3rd and 9 play. Ball is snapped. He's going pass. Wide open for the 1st down. They're giving him a lot of cushion out there on that side of the ball, out on the outside. So nice pitch and catch. They're able to get that 1st down, and it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line for Jones.
And I can't see who's on that catch for Jones. We can't read the number from across the field. But that was a nice concentration, keeping that foot in bounds.
Absolutely.
I'm seeing a lot of maturity in this young sophomore quarterback, too, Darian Coleman. And right now, he's splitting time with the senior Trevor Jackson, who who is one of the top quarterbacks in the nation.
Yeah, and he's sitting there, and he's, as a sophomore, in Camping World Stadium going up against, one of the top teams in the state of Florida, and the moment is not too big for him, and he's not nervous at all. He's ready to go.
Wide receiver screen there to Vernell Brown again. Didn't get really, looks like they lost a yard.
Yeah, definitely did not get anything downfield, but they're trying a lot of those. They're trying some screens, they're trying some RPOs. They're mixing it up a little bit, trying to figure out where they are as a team. They know they can run it right up the gut if they need to. Second down, he gives it right up the gut. He's going to have picked up about two yards on that play. So Jesuit tightens it up a little bit here on second down, and we're going into third down and 8 yards.
And again, young guy, the sophomore, number 20, Dante Wallace on that carry.
17 again on that tackle. He's been flying around the ball. I really like that young player on the D-line for Jesuit. Oh, they gave him a nice cushion, and then he couldn't recover fast enough. He's going to break in for a touchdown.
Again,
nicely done.
Number 1, Vernell Brown on that wide receiver screen. What can you say about this young man? He's got the hands, he's got the moves, and he has got the feet.
Absolutely. They're trying to play off him a little bit and make sure that he keeps in front of him, but that's not a recipe for success. If you give him a little bit of room to make his move and make you miss, that's going to be a problem all night long.
The wide receivers get judged on what is called the YAC, yards after catch, and right now Mr. Brown is racking up those numbers.
That's for sure.
Blocked.
Nice block for Jesuit.
So right now with 9:25 left in the second quarter, Jones is up 13-0 on Jesuit.
Yeah, you know what? They came out, they've scored twice. They've been down in Jesuit territory for most of the game so far. And so Jesuit really needs to get something going on an offensive side, give their defense a little bit of a breather. They've been out there most of the first half.
So we're getting into that Jesuit schedule. And on 9/8, they have Miami Columbus coming to town. That is the 4M state champion from last year.
Wow. Yeah, it's a juggernaut beginning to the schedule for them for sure. And it doesn't lessen up after that.
No, it's the following week on September 8th, or September 20th. Actually, they have a week off, and then on the 22nd of September, they got Armwood.
Well, they might need to just rest up a little bit, maybe ice some of those bruises before they face Armwood.
Then they're at Leto. They've got Bishop Verot coming to town. Then they got Tampa Gaither at Tampa Bay Tech, Hillsboro, and finish up with Tampa Catholic at home. And I know how big of a rivalry that is. Two Catholic programs.
For sure. I got a little peek at Tampa Tech during the 7-on-7 down at the Bucks facility this summer, and they can throw the ball around a little bit over there too. So that's a tough schedule. They've got maybe a couple of breathers in there, but it's a juggernaut most of the season.
Kickoff out of bounds.
So that's going to be coming back out to the 35-yard line.
We had an opportunity to talk to Jason Roberts, the head coach at Tampa Bay Tech, at Media Day, and he had a good-looking group of players as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of just good football around the state of Florida. Obviously, that's why they're ranked where they are, is just a recruiting platform, right? You're not in the top 3 states in the country without having some good athletes everywhere, but some nice young men and some great coaches as well, just as people, let alone as football coaches and players. So it's first down and 10 at the 35-yard line, and see if Jesuit can get something going here offensively here in the second quarter. We've got a pitch and a catch, and we got some first down, first one of the game so far for Jesuit. And that's out to number 7.
Yeah, Gary Givens. We talked about him earlier. He was going to be the one to watch. Senior, 6'2", 190.
Yeah, nice looking player. He made one guy miss and then picked up some nice yardage to get that first down. And now you start getting a little bit of confidence. You start going downhill for Jesuit. They're now in Jones territory. Let's see what they can do with it. So they're on the 45-yard line, 1st and 10, and they're rolling here after the nice first down play. Ball is snapped, gets it out of his, in rhythm, gets that ball right back out into the slot, and they picked up 5 yards on the play.
And again, number 3, Willie Suarez, the senior, 5'11", 185. He was uncovered. That was the play. Anytime a quarterback sees a wide receiver uncovered, you take the ball and you get rid of it and get it in his hands. Even if you can get 4 or 5 yards, it's 4 or 5 positive yards right there.
Absolutely. Now you're dealing with 2nd and 5. And yeah, like you said, it was a good pre-snap read. He saw he was uncovered and got the ball over there. Good job for the young sophomore. That's one of the top prospects in that sophomore class in the country. He's looking to throw the ball downfield on this one. Off his back foot. He's got a guy. Just a little underthrown, so the DB was able to recover and knock that out.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Jones. Number 11, Tariq Hollinger, defensive back, senior, 5'11", 175.
Yeah, he did a nice job recovering, not giving up on the play.
Yeah, and again, quarterbacks throwing off their back foot, they are taught never to do that. And we've seen that with a couple different of the quarterbacks tonight.
Yes,
they're so eager to get rid of the ball, they don't have their feet up under them.
If a quarterback doesn't have his feet, now he's got to throw it all with his arm strength, and then that's going to really change the trajectory of the ball and know how they want it to be thrown. Well, we're at 3rd down and 5. We'll see what they got. He's throwing the ball again. Nice pitch and catch, yeah.
Nice slant. That is number 13, Bryson Goodwin, the 6'2", 280-pound senior Temple commit. Again, you know, he's had a couple nice catches tonight, John.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've seen it from both Jones and Jesuit that slant is working early on in the season. That means the timing is right. They're in midseason form. Good to see that. Now it's 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. See what Jesuit can do as they're in the red zone.
They're going to throw the ball here. All the men are in the box. Motion number 7.
Absolutely. They bring it in rocket motion. He hits that slant again.
A little high. A little high. Get that ball a little bit lower, and I tell you, that's a 1st down.
Absolutely. If he could get that in the breadbasket, he can. Doesn't matter what the defender does. He's between the ball and the defender, and he can just bring that in.
And as much talent he is, again, that's a throw you have to learn to throw as a quarterback. You've got to throw it low and throw it into that window, and a little high there from Will Griffin.
Absolutely, that's the one thing you definitely don't want to do is be high on that ball, that is for sure. But we got 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line, and he's going to get another shot at it here.
We're cover 1 here.
Yes, sir. He's looking downfield. He's got a guy underneath.
Oh, number 21, Ian Wilson II, just off his fingertips, the junior, 5'8", 200-pound.
I think Will's just maybe just a little hyped up. He's coming high on a lot of his balls right now, and so he's just probably got to settle down, get into the rhythm of the season.
Well, they didn't let him throw it a whole lot. They only threw the ball about 3 times in that first quarter. So you're right. You know, again, young quarterback, he has got to get his groove. And you know, we were talking about earlier. This is the first game situation these guys have really seen.
100%, yeah. These guys are, you know, a little bit either rusty or a little excited as they're coming into the season. We'll see where it all ends up, but we're 3rd down and 10 here on the 20-yard line. I know Jesuit wants to come out with some points on this drive. Looks like it might have to come from a field goal.
Yeah, it looked like, again, intended. Will Griffin, again, with a little high on that, a little late throwing that slot to number 13, Bryson Goodwin.
Yeah, he's got to get those balls down, but I have no doubt he's going to do that as the season progresses, maybe even as the night progresses. You know, he's just got to get some of those game time throws in.
Yeah, he's walking off the field, and I saw Coach Jeff Carlson greeting him there. So obviously he's got some words of wisdom to settle Will down and get his get some groove going on here, because Jesuit's definitely not out of this game as they attempt a field goal.
Absolutely not. They get this 3 points.
So I guess good.
Yeah, it's good. So now it's a 10-point game. And they drove down the field. You know, it wasn't just that somehow they ended up with good field position. They actually came in, drove down the field, got into scoring position, and put points on the board. That's got to feel good for Coach.
Yeah, it was 7:46. Jones Tigers up 13-3 on the Jesuit Tigers. And let's talk about Jones a little bit. You know, after tonight, they open up the season next week at home against the defending 2S state champion Cocoa Tigers.
Wow.
Another Tiger on their schedule.
There you go. Well, you know, when two cats get into it, you never know. It's going to be savage, that's for sure.
And then they go on the road, and they're going to go up to Onley, Maryland, and play Our Lady of Good Counsel.
Do you know anything about that program?
They are one of the premier programs in the country. So, you know, again, Coach Williams is not afraid to to strike that iron.
Yeah.
They come back and they got the Osceola Cowboys at Osceola and Kissimmee. Then they're at Edgewater, Orlando Edgewater, who went undefeated last year and then lost in the second round, or Jones beat them in the second round to end their season, before they go also to West Orange and then home against Cypress Creek, Boone, at Wekiva, at Horizon, and against Rodney Wells for the season finale at home against Dr. Phillips.
Well, I would guess there's some blood in the water over there for Coach Duke and Edgewater wanting to make a little revenge at the way their season ended. Receives the ball around the 6-yard line, takes off. He's got a nice burst of speed. He gets just short of the 30-yard line once again. He's going to be on the 27-yard line to start that drive here for the 4th drive for the Jones offense. See if what they can get going here as their second drive of the second quarter. They did already score 1 touchdown in the second quarter, so it began well.
And true to form, looks like number 3, Trevor Jackson, is going to be coming out at quarterback for Coach Williams and the Jones Tigers.
When you got 2 talented quarterbacks, you're in a legacy classic game. Why not see what both quarterbacks have? You can just go back and forth. As long as the quarterbacks and the whole team is kind of ready for this is how we're going to do it, everyone's going to be fine.
Especially when you're up by 10.
Yeah, that always helps. If you're down by 20, then people don't give you as much grace in that.
Well, I tell you, Darian Coleman was the quarterback in the spring against Apopka, and even in the rain, he held his composure. Nice run up the middle.
Yeah, they gave that ball right up the gut and got a great hole from that offensive line. They've really done a nice job most of this first half of opening up holes.
And he's back to number 0, Jerian Parker. And I tell you what, he's looked really good running the ball tonight.
Absolutely. They're hitting the holes. They're not dancing anything in the backfield. They're seeing the hole and they're hitting it and they're getting upfield. Now, you got to like that when your running backs are just downhill. It's going to be 2nd down and 3. That's a great position to be in. Now we can do that RPO. And you're probably thinking, you know what, if I get a look that I like, I'm going to throw this thing.
I'll tell you what's unusual here. That slot receiver is inside the hash.
Yes, sir.
Which tells me they're going to run most likely something to the outside.
Yeah, they've got him in perfect position to come down and seal off that inside.
Looks like they're walking out.
Oh, they're exchanging a player there.
Yeah, moving somebody else in. Like number 15, Walkie Ambrose, sophomore coming off the field. And
he was definitely thinking pass the whole way there. That was just a fainting look at that run. He wanted to do something down the field. But the problem is that if you get sacked, now you don't have that 3rd and short. Now they got 3rd and long, so they're going to have to pass again.
And number 15 comes back on the field, Walkie Ambrose, sophomore, 6'1", 170. Again, nice tall wide receiver for the Jones Tigers.
Something that Coach wanted to see there situationally with that other slot. And so especially in a legacy classic like this, you're going to see Coach move some guys around, put them in different positions, put them in different situations to see what they've got. We're at 3rd down and 7 here on this play. We'll see what what Coach Williams has dialed up for Jones. Definitely going to the air. He's had to scramble out to his left. Oh, he had a receiver, but it was a tough position to have to throw that in. They could not connect up. He was looking for a number, is that 15 again out there? And they just couldn't dial it together. So it's going to be 4th down and 7.
And you got to give a lot of credit to number 94 for Jesuit. Tucker Witt, the 6', 221 junior, was all over Trevor Jackson right off the snap of the ball.
Yeah, if you make a quarterback uncomfortable, you got pressure in his face. Nobody's great with pressure in their face. Well, we got another timeout here in Camping World Stadium. It's super fun to be having football back going again. I can't believe it seems like 2023 just kicked off and we're back into football season, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Once football season rolls around, I'm as happy as anybody.
And I tell you, you got to give credit to Florida Citrus Sports at Camping World Stadium. You know, they host one home game for Jones because Jones is literally across the street here from the stadium. So they host one game every year. Last year, I was here for the Miami Northwestern came up, and they played here. And this is always a great experience for the kids, especially kids that aren't used to playing in big stadiums. High school football fields in a lot of cases are pretty small.
That's correct.
And when you've got roughly 1,000, 1,500 fans in the stands, when you have a much larger stadium like this, and now you get kind of a feel what that college atmosphere looks like.
Absolutely. You got a lot of college athletes on the field, and it's great to get them that experience for sure. And also, even when you're going to the playoffs, as you get into those state championship games, it's not the first big stadium you've walked into. Well, they're going to punt this ball away now. Jesuit's going to get another shot with good field position to put some points on the board and see if they can just take this gap down just a little bit. They field it nice off the bounce. Gets out of that first tackle, trying to make some room off to the right-hand side. Cannot get away from that last defender, but nice effort. He ran a lot east and west, just couldn't get a lot north and south.
Yeah, number 9, Mikey Vernon, the freshman, 5'9", 145 for Jesuit Tigers, tried to find something. He was looking for something to turn upfield and just couldn't get it.
Just couldn't get there, but we're going to be at the 36-yard line to start this drive. Very similar, actually 1 yard better than last drive, which they yielded 3 points from. So Will is going to be looking to take this snap on the 36-yard line, and the passing game kind of came alive for Jesuit last week. If he gets that ball down, I'm really looking for good things in this drive.
Yeah, I'd like to see some consistency here. With 5:37 left in the first half, I'd like to see Jesuit run the ball a little bit, run some consistency. The pitch out to Thurman, gets the edge, picks up right at 10 yards.
You know, when you're having struggle between the tackles, a nice little pitch sweep is a good remedy for that. Get those defenders maybe going a little side to side, and that might open the middle back up for them. So nice pickup on that pitch sweep, and we're going to be second down and 1 yard.
And it also works when you've got those big, tall wide receivers that can block on the ends.
Absolutely. No, and they do. They got really nice size out at the wide receiver. Coach got dialed up here on 2nd and 1. A nice little zone beater. He hits the receiver, and he got the ball down on that one. It was a nice throw.
That was a nice throw, nice read, and number 5, S.J. Green, the 6-foot junior, came down with the ball. He settled in that hole and did a really good job as a wide receiver to find that hole and sit down in it.
He did a little baby roll, found the open guy there in the zone and hit it. I'm glad he's kind of settled down. The balls aren't sailing so much this drive. See what they've got dialed up here on 1st down on the 40-yard line of Jones.
Trips to the top.
Making a little bit of adjustment here at the line of scrimmage.
Jones playing in a cover 3.
Got a rocket motion out of Jesuit. Hands it off. Nice little pickup there, just an off-tackle handoff coming back the other way and to the field side. So they get 3.5 yards on that first down.
Yeah, it was a good job by the Notre Dame commit, number 2, Justin Thurman, just kind of sitting back and watching his block set up and get some good 3.5 yards.
Yeah, he seems to be a patient runner, that's for sure. Well, 2nd and 7 here. We'll see what Jesuit's got. Got jet motion. It is a jet sweep coming back the other side to the boundary. Kind of nice little pickup. It's going to be 3rd and short, about 2 yards. Maybe 3 yards on 3rd down. And we'll see what they want to go with on 3rd and short. They've been hitting the edges in the run game on this drive.
Yeah, with 3:17 left in the first half, I would even consider this a 4-down territory.
Yeah, for sure, because this would be an awfully long kick if you're trying to field goal. So, yeah, you got to go for it.
I actually would run look at the guys running out of the box. I would hand the ball. Well, no, they're empty backfield.
Yeah, they'd have
4 to the top.
It would be Griffin running the football, and that's exactly what
they're going to do.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to be about a yard short. So sets up 4th and 1, gives you plenty of options to come back with the RPO.
Yeah, for sure, because, again, you only got a yard on the play, got it a little bit shorter, but like you said, it was already 4th down territory, so you knew you had 2 downs. Not a bad idea for the coach, and when you see that box is that light, yeah, you got to run with the football.
And it looks like we're sitting about 1.5 yards, almost 2 yards away from the first down. So it looks like Jesuit's going to take a timeout and take a look at this. But, last year, John, was the first year of the Metro Suburban division of the classifications.
Yes, sir.
And, a lot of mixed bag feelings from head coaches around the state. Some liked it. A lot of them did not. A lot of them felt like, they had more opportunity. I personally was down in Fort Lauderdale for the state championship games, and I saw some of the best matchups I'd seen in years. But, a lot of these coaches like the fact that they can play against the best teams, no matter where they're at.
Right.
And South Florida has dominated from a football standpoint for the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing football down there in South Florida, that's for sure. It was nice to see some teams not from South Florida in those state championship games and seeing them compete at that level. It's all what you want. What's the goal? What are we trying to see in high school football? Well, it's fourth down, and like you said, 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards. See what Jesuit can do. If they can pick up this first down, that's going to be great for them, just confidence-wise, even going into halftime. See if did he get that ball? Yes, they're saying he caught that. He had to dive back for that. It was a really nice catch. Really just threw it to the outside just a little too much, and he had to dive to catch that ball. But they got a first down, and that's the important thing for Jesuit. So they're back in business here. They got a fresh set of downs, and they're at the 29-yard line. And they'd like to score with just over 2 minutes left in this first half. If they can get a touchdown and it's 13-10, Jesuit's feeling really good at halftime. Nice, another sweep out to the outside on that, and they're picking up some nice yards on those sweeps. They've realized they want to paint the edges here a little bit.
Well, they've gotten a good look at that Jones defense, and now we're in the second quarter. Again, early in this season, we're not seeing the best conditioned teams right now, especially with the heat that we've had here over the last several weeks. It has not allowed these guys to be out in pads a whole lot, has it?
No, I've been talking to a lot of coaches around the state, and they've had so little amount of time on the field because of the heat. They've been in the gym, they've been wherever they're at, inside, trying to make something happen, but it's just really hard to get the guys where they need to be. Throwing the football, got some room out there on the edge. That was that nice junior, number 8.
Max Hunt,
nice.
Again, 6'5", 195. And I tell you what, you got a 6'5" target, this is where I want him, down near the red zone here, John.
Absolutely. You give your quarterback nice, large targets like Jesuits has, and you know what? You can make him look really good in the red zone, that's for sure. We're at first down and 10, but it's first down and goal, folks, so they're going to be trying to score right away.
Will Griffin taking the snap.
He's got his guy.
Nice shot.
Yep, there it is.
Nice shot. Number 5, S.J. Green, the junior, 6', 180. Great read by Will Griffin right off the snap. He was uncovered, hit him right there in that slot.
We've seen him twice now make a really nice pre-snap read, sticks with it, delivers the ball quickly, and makes the right play. And you got to like that out of a sophomore quarterback, knowing where he's at, knowing where to go, and doing it quickly.
And a lot of that has nothing to do with your arm strength, right? That is having the advantage of having a former NFL quarterback in Jeff Carlson teaching you the game, understanding coverages, understanding, and this is the thing for a quarterback. Your read literally starts when you're walking the line of scrimmage, looking to see where those linebackers are, how those corners played. Then you find out where your safeties are because they all start interacting with each other. I've always told when I coach quarterbacks, it comes down to this. The only way they're going to beat us is if they're going to cheat, right?
Right.
And if they cheat, God help them.
Amen. Amen. Well, now with just under a minute, 48 seconds left in the first half, it's a 13-10 game. It was 13-0. All the mo has gone into Jesuit's favor now. But I'll tell you what, Jones is going to be trying to put some points on the board with the few seconds they got left in this first half.
No, it is. And I'll tell you, they've got the offense to do it. And I would expect Darian Coleman comes out with his third series of the night. And Coach Elijah Williams loves calling this offense for the Jones Tigers.
Well, you know what you were talking about as a former quarterback yourself. Coaches, all of us get infatuated with an arm that can throw the ball through a brick wall. But I'll tell you what, you got the cerebral quarterback that makes the right play at the right time. I don't care if you can't throw it out of a wet bag as long as he's getting it to the right guy.
And we can name Hall of Fame quarterbacks that really did not have a great arm. Joe Montana being one of them.
Absolutely.
Dan Marino really couldn't throw the ball farther than 50 yards, but it was his release and his ability to read a defense right up to the line of scrimmage is what made him great.
100%, because how many balls are you throwing at 50 yards? You're really just not doing it all that often. Kickoff back to Jones. He's going to field this ball around the 10-yard line. He's taken off.
Nice tackle.
That was a nice tackle right around the 25-yard line. See where they spot that. But they're going to start off at the 25.
And that looked like number 22, Cyrus Abode, outside linebacker, 6 foot, 210, the senior. If I got that number correct, and that was a heck of a hit he put on him.
Well, our sideline guy just texted up here to us. That was nasty. I think maybe down the field, that was a great one to be seen for sure.
And he did confirm it was number 22. So, we're glad we got CB down on the sideline helping us out with some of this tonight.
Absolutely. It's great to be out here at Camping World Stadium. You and I were out there in the field before the game talking with the coaches and just like you said to me, you're like, this is as good as it gets, right? I mean, it's just great to be out here, and we got high school football happening in Camping World Stadium. Well, it's 1st and 10, and we're on the 24-yard line. He's going to keep it himself. He's taking off. He's got nice room.
Darian Coleman picks up almost 20 yards as the clock ticks. We're going to take a timeout here with 31 seconds.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what happens with Coach Will. So with 31 seconds, the Jones Tigers are up by 3, looking to create a little bit more damage here before we go to halftime. But, John, we were talking about the state championship games. It looks like both are all 9 of those games will be played in Tallahassee this year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's an interesting Tallahassee's a great city to go play some football, a lot of rich tradition. But that's far away from most of where these teams are at.
Oh, no doubt about it, especially if you're from South Florida. You're going to have Miami teams that have to travel almost 7 hours just to get to Tallahassee.
Yeah, that's a long...
And families.
I mean, I don't care how you break that trip up, that's a long trip.
I was talking to my friend Larry Bluestein. He's like, I can't believe I have to make 2 trips in 7 days to Tallahassee. And he's down in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah,
a lot of people have been trying to get it back here in Orlando where it's a central location. Even the people down in South Florida want to come to Orlando to play in a stadium like Camping World. Last year it was at Drive Pink Stadium, the soccer stadium down in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, sir.
At least the 4 or the 2, 3, and 4 M and S championships, and again had a great time down there.
Yeah,
great facility, but it's getting tougher. Camping World Stadium is host to a lot of different events here.
Yeah, for sure. And timing up those events and being able to get a state championship into a stadium like this is difficult.
Looks like we got a flag.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a...
I think it looks like, okay, yeah, grounding.
Yeah.
So it didn't look like he got outside the tackle box. He was trying to get out there and threw that ball away, which isn't a bad play. He just had to get a little bit further with 26 seconds. Get rid of the ball, live for another play, but they're going to move it back a few.
Absolutely. He was trying. He had the right thought in mind, just didn't quite get to where he needed to be able to do that. But, oh no, that was called against Jesuit. They're moving the ball into Jesuit territory, so now they're going to be at the...
Wow.
Yeah, at the 43-yard line.
That wasn't grounding.
No, it was not
a personal
grounding.
foul.
It was a personal foul called against Jesuit on that that hit on the quarterback. So there you go. They're really in business with 26 seconds left in Jesuit territory.
I would be keeping an eye on number 1 Vernell Brown right now.
Yeah, they might take a shot at that for sure.
He seems to be the favorite target this evening by both quarterbacks.
Oh,
and he is looking right now. Darian Coleman scrambling outside the box. Gets out of bounds with 17 seconds, John.
Yeah, that was nice awareness. Get out of bounds, live for the next play. He had a little bit of room out there. I thought he might try to get north-south on that a little bit as get downfield, but I think he made the smart play, getting out of bounds, stopping that clock. I'll tell you what, you were talking about those state championship games and being at a soccer stadium. The nice thing about those soccer stadiums is the crowd size is a little lower, so actually the state championship fills it in. You know, you don't have a lot of empty seats when you play in those stadiums.
Yeah, in Central Florida, you know, Tampa was only represented, I believe, only by Jesuit in that series. You know, Central Florida had a number of teams. They had Mainland, played for the 3S state championship, and just barely, I think it was a 3-point game, they walked away as losers.
Oh, here we go.
Darian Coleman back.
He's in the pocket for
Flips it.
and he hits him in that hole, and he's got a touchdown. Beautifully thrown football, and just nice. He never took his eye off the football, even with Jesuit players flying around him.
And that looked like number 12. Can't see. Do we have a read on that?
Let's see, touchdown 10.
Number 10, Trip Boyle.
Wow.
No, that's not right. I'm sorry. That is number 10, Jalen Smith. We talked about him beginning of the game. He's a speed kid, 5'7", 165. Typically, he's in the slot, but he lined up out wide on this play.
Absolutely. And then the quarterback, nice patience. He had the time in the backfield. The offensive line did a magical job out there. I mean, when you got 4 or 5 seconds in that pocket, the quarterback can do some great things.
Extra point is good. And with 8 seconds, the Jones Tigers are up 20-10 before we hit halftime.
They make it back to a 10-point game, 20-10. After all that momentum, you thought maybe Jesuit's going to go into halftime with a ton of momentum, but Jones gets it right back.
You know, we were talking about before the game and talking to the head coaches, and this is something I've enjoyed doing, is you start developing relationships, and they start to you know, once they know who you are, you know, they tend to want to talk, you know, and Matt Thompson was gracious to give us about 15-20 minutes before the game.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And he was talking about the fact last time he was at Camping World, he was here to see Garth Brooks.
Oh, that's funny. Well, he might be looking for some friends in low places before halftime to get a score in 8 seconds here. Would be nice for him, though.
Well, I was more in line of I'm much too young to feel as damn old. But,
oh, okay, okay.
You know, it was good to have a good talk with him, and obviously, you know, I've had a number of conversations with the Jones head coach Elijah Williams this week, and like I said, it's a great opportunity to get to know these guys on a personal level.
Well, both are class acts, and they're doing a great job with their programs, obviously. And the blocking is set up really nice for this return. They get it out to the 34-yard line here, but that's going to do it for the first half. We're going to be going into halftime and see what these guys dial up in the locker rooms.
And I tell you what, with that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back about 10 minutes before kickoff for the second half. We're going to talk a little bit about the first half and get ready for another half of football. Live from Camping World Stadium, I'm Dan LaForest. This is John Rogels. You're watching the Jones Jesuit game right here on Quick Cut Sports. All right, welcome back to Camping World Stadium here in Orlando, Florida. Dan LaForest with John Ruggles. The Jones Tigers lead 20-10 over the Jesuit Tigers. John, entertaining first half.
Absolutely. And at the beginning of the first half, we had Jones coming out strong, really able to just put their foot down. That first drive, they did it by pass. Then they went and did it by run. They came back and did it by pass again later. But Jesuit had a little run in that second quarter where they were able to, get back into the football game and show us that they're not a team, A, that's afraid to go down a little bit and come back from that. And they also were able to work out some of those, I guess I would call young guy challenges that it seemed like Will Griffin was having, throwing the ball a little bit high, being a little bit off with his time, but he settled down at the end of the second quarter.
We were talking about Will Griffin with Jesuit, but on the other side of the field here, Jones had two really good performances by number 3, Trevor Jackson, but also the sophomore Darian Coleman.
Yeah, and the moment did not seem too big for that young man. He really looked good throughout the entire first half. And I'll tell you what, these young quarterbacks, if they can settle in and really play good football, both these programs are in good hands for a while.
And for a lot of people that think that this might be a quarterback controversy here at Jones, it's really not.
No, you got two good quarterbacks. You already know what you got in your senior quarterback. Let's see what the young guy can do. And you want to give him a little love so he sticks around Jones for a little bit.
No doubt about it. And, we saw a lot of great things on the running game as well, John.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what, Jones' offensive line really was able to open up holes between the tackles. And when they were just separating the sea, they were just driving the ball down Jesuit's throat. But I'll tell you what, Jesuit did have a high point on that defensive line, and that was Peter Pasansky, if I pronounced that correctly. He really looked like a nice player for Jesuit, but Jones' offensive line, dominant in that first half.
Yeah, let's talk about that running game. Jones running back, Jerian Parker, the 5'11 senior, really ran the ball well for Jones.
Absolutely. And he those holes opened up, and he got north and south, got through that line of scrimmage, and then was able to dance once he got to that linebacker level rather than dancing in the backfield. So I really like what I saw of the running backs, out of the offensive linemen. The Jones offense really looks like it's midseason for him.
And back with Jesuit, number 2, the Notre Dame commit, the junior, Justin Thurman. He had his moments as well.
He did. Once they started going to the outside, so they got some jet sweeps, they got some pitch sweeps, they got off tackle. That's when they really started to get the Jesuit running game going a little bit. Early on, they were trying to run up the middle, and they just didn't have much success. Jones' defensive line is really good gap stoppers up that whole middle.
On the receiving side of that, Jones, you got to talk about Vernell Brown. A couple touchdowns. Really looked solid. It looked extremely quick. Absolutely. For the Jones Tigers.
Has an explosion. As soon as that ball touches his hand, able to explode, take off, and really does a nice job just concentrating and making sure that you're always in the right place, able to put his hands on the football.
And then on the other side, you have to talk about that Temple commit, Bryson Goodwin. Had a couple drop balls, a couple things, but settled down in that second quarter, and he looked pretty solid as well.
He did. He was, again, saw this a lot with a lot of the Jesuit players. I think they just coming into the season knew probably a lot of heat happening, and so they can't, do the reps that they normally would have in that preseason. And so they settled down, though, as that second quarter really, turned a corner. And I'll tell you what, I like that number 8 had a really nice red zone catch as well, that Max Hunt. Nice 6'5" wide receiver for Jesuit.
Yeah, like we talked about, anytime you've got a wide receiver at 6'5", you tend to get a little cocky
yes.
as a quarterback, and Will Griffin will definitely look at him a little bit more here in the second half. Well, guys, the teams are coming back out on the field. Looks like we're going to kick off this second half here shortly. But, John, let's talk about, you've actually done radio work with the Minnesota Vikings in the past.
Yes, sir. So the Minnesota Vikings just had a fun time for the last really 4 years before last season. I was up there with them, and just a great organization doing a lot of great things in the community. And when you got great guys like Kirk Cousins, for example, that are so giving of their time to a broadcast crew, just willing to sit down, willing to talk to you, willing to do all those things, and they're just good people, it makes your job a lot easier.
And another exciting event for Florida Central Sports. We've got the Pro Bowl back in Orlando.
Oh, that's
starting
awesome.
In 2024.
Well, we know we're going to see some of those Vikings down here for that, because Justin Jefferson, if he has to get a really big injury for him not to be in that Pro Bowl.
Well, guys, it looks like we're getting ready to kick off the second half with the Jones Tigers and Jesuit Tigers here at Camping World Stadium.
Yeah, I'm looking for, if Jesuit can go down and score, look for a game that's going to last deep into the second half.
Takes the ball at the 17, turns it up. That looks like number 3. Nice return, and he's pulled out of bounds there at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, the kicker came over as a nice safety valve and got him down. For a second there, I didn't know if anyone was going to catch him.
And that looked like number 3, Willie Suarez for Jesuit, 5'11", 185, the senior. Really turned it on there on the sideline, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he was going. He had big eyes. He was looking at that end zone. He wanted to make that happen right there, get Jesuit on the scoreboard early.
Well, I tell you what, we got a great viewing. We saw on YouTube, we've got about 2,000 people watching us tonight. And this is a great matchup across the state of Florida when you've got two powerhouse programs like the Twin Tigers, Jones and Jesuit.
Absolutely. It doesn't get much better than this, not only in the state of Florida, but in the United States at the high school level. This is going to be about as good a football as you're going to watch at the high school level for sure.
And again, we were talking a little bit about kickoff classics. You never know what you get. You can't really look at a score and understand. But these guys have come out, these two head coaches, head coach Matt Thompson for the Jesuit Tigers and Elijah Williams, they have decided they're going to play a full-blown game tonight.
Absolutely. They're going for it. You don't know. Are they worried they're going to get injuries, don't want to, get their guys messed up, but they want to see where they stack up in the state.
All right, Will Griffin fakes the handoff, rolls out, incomplete to number 3, Willie Suarez.
Just a little behind him. If that ball was just a little further out in front of him, I think he takes that in and they get a little bit of a gain there.
Not only that, I don't think Will really got deep enough. It looked like he faked the handoff and he expected somebody to be open, and that wasn't the case.
Yes.
That makes it very difficult because if you don't have that depth, you got to backpedal a little bit. And we talked about them throwing off the back foot early in the first half.
And you saw it again right there. Absolutely. And well, I think here's the other challenge. When you're going up against a top-tier team like Jones, you also may have to get a little more depth in that pocket than you would against maybe, a team that doesn't have that pass rush.
All right, Will Griffin back to pass. Throws it over the middle. Number 5 into traffic, incomplete.
The defensive backfield really reacted well to that ball. I think he had to put a little more zip on that if he was going to complete that ball.
That was number 5, S.J. Green for Jesuit on the intended. 6 foot 180 junior. And again, they're looking at 3rd and 10.
You hate to put yourself behind the 8 ball like that at 3rd and 10. You want to get ahead of the sticks a little bit better so you're not putting so much pressure on a sophomore quarterback.
All right, so we're going to see what Matt Thompson and the Jesuit Tigers decide to do here on 3rd and 10. They got twins down at the bottom of the screen and 2 backs in the backfield. Will Griffin get ready to take the snap. He rolls to the right, small, off his back foot again.
Yes.
And almost intercepted. Pass intended for number 3, Willie Suarez.
Coach Thompson's thought process, I think, with that 2 backs was to get him some extra protection, get him, more edge protection, and get a little bit longer in the backfield in that pocket. Just didn't get it. He was getting pressure already, even with all those guys in the box to help him out. And so, yeah, he had to get rid of it a little bit again. Right. I don't mean to be repeating it, but off his back foot.
4th down, Jesuit Tigers back to punt. Didn't get all of it. Goes out of bounds. Looks like at the 31, 32-yard line where the Jones Tigers are going to take their first possession of the second half. And it should be Trevor Jackson coming out with the starting offense here for the Jones Tigers.
Yeah, Jesuit was hoping to pin them back a little bit further after the field position they were in as they had to punt. But you know what? This is where Jesuit's defense really needs to step up, see what adjustments they've made at halftime, and maybe they only had, I think, 1 drive where they stopped Jones from scoring. And so, it's going to be they need to have a better second half.
And number 3, Trevor Jackson comes out to the line of scrimmage with his first-team offense here with the Jones Tigers. And Trevor really had a hard time getting things going here in the first half. So hopefully he's going to settle down and show us what he is made of because he is an Elite 11 finalist this year. Still hasn't made a commitment. He's going to be making a commitment here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, what I saw him out of
nice quick screen out to the wide receiver, takes it upfield. 1st down, gets about 11 on that play.
Yeah, good ball. He got it out quick with timing and didn't put any air underneath it so they can get the 1st down.
So it looks like 1st and 10 from about the 40-yard line. The nose of the ball is on the 40. And Trevor Jackson gets the play. Everybody's setting up. You got almost twins. You got 2 slot wide receivers in there, 4 wide. Single backfield. It's like a quick screen out there. A quick screen out to the wide receiver, drops it.
Just could not handle it. Hit him in the hands. You got to be able to reel that in. They had a little bit of room. I don't know if they were going to get huge yardage on that, but you rather that than 2nd and 10.
Well, that was number 12 with the drop on that. Christian Robbins, the 6'1", 170s junior for the Jones Tigers as we set up 2nd and 10 with Twins to the bottom of the screen. Looks like they got an H-back in the backfield with a running back.
I wouldn't doubt that they're going to put the ball in his hand. Nope, they're going
All
to the
right,
pass
fake.
again.
Trevor Jackson sits back, lays it up over the
Yeah,
middle.
he's got him.
Vernell Brown goes up for the ball and drops it. Wow, and you don't see that. We didn't see that a whole lot with number 1, Vernell Brown III, here in the first half. He has had excellent concentration, but that was a tough ball. Trevor could have put it out there a little bit more and let him run. He's speedy.
Absolutely. Well, he's one of those guys where you can't out throw him. You know, you just you don't put so much air into the ball. You just throw it out there, let him run underneath it.
That sets up 3rd and 10. Trevor Jackson looking to the sideline. Coach Elijah Williams getting that play in. Got 10:41 left in the 3rd. And Jones is looking to get this first down to keep this momentum going into the second half.
You're going empty backfield out in 3rd and 10.
Yeah, empty. 5 wide receivers, empty backfield. Looks like Jesuit's in a cover 2. Trevor Jackson steps up. He's taken down. 1 yard loss by number 17.
I tell you what, he has made his presence on this field all game long. Peter Pasansky is just he looks like this season he's going to be a machine to be reckoned with.
And he is a North Carolina commit. And I tell you, Coach, the coaches up in North Carolina are absolutely thrilled right now with what they're seeing with this commit as he finishes out his senior year and looking at signing here in December.
I say the Tar Heels got to be pleased to see against a top-notch team like Jones that he's playing the way he is, for sure.
All right, Jones is back to punt. There's a snap. No, it's a shank. Oh, man, you're going to get about a 6-yard yield on that one. That's going to set up great field position for the Jesuit Tigers.
As a coach, that keeps you up at night. You go, I might as well have went for it on 4th down when I get a punt situation like that. Special teams, the third, phase of the game has to be crisp, has to be on point. You got a week from your season opener. You really don't want to see that in your punt
It's
game.
kind of like a balanced diet, right? You got to have your dairy and your meat and your veggies.
Yep.
You got to have offense and defense, but you've got to spend time on that special teams.
Absolutely. Well, that gives advantage to Jesuit. See if they can put some more points on the board and just nip a little bit into this 10-point lead for Jones.
And I'm sure my friend Dan Lundy with 4th Down University is watching. That's all he does is work with kickers. All right, Justin Thurman up the middle for about 1 on 1st down. Will Griffin looking over to the sidelines to Coach Jeff Carlson and the offensive staff over there.
I think that was the first time since the first quarter that Jesuits tried to go between the tackles, and still no room in there between.
Well, you got
tackles.
the big boy, 6'4", 305-pound Texas come in, and DeAndre Robinson sitting there. And we didn't see a lot of penetration from him in the first half. He kind of skated down the sideline because there was so much rolling around. That's a smart defensive lineman when he doesn't necessarily have to penetrate, he has to control the line of scrimmage.
Amen, and he's done a great job of that. The whole Jones front of that defensive line has done a good job. He got some penetration, and Will moves a little bit and actually got a lot of room.
He picks up about 12, gets Jesuit the first down. And, that's what you want to see in a big quarterback. I mean, as a sophomore, he's sitting about 220, 225, but still nimble enough and aware enough to get positive yardage there.
No, I really liked what I saw of that quarterback there. As soon as he saw an opportunity and his guys were covered up in the backfield, he's just taking off and he's going to get some yards, keep that drive going, and really put his team in a good position.
And you're right, number 6 for Jones, DeAndre Robinson, just talking about that, was able to get upfield and create that pocket awareness for Will Griffin. All right, first and 10 for Jesuit. Will Griffin sitting with Twins up at the top of the screen. H-back in the backfield, so they're 3 wide receivers. Motion. Looks like a potential jet sweep, but no. Will's going to kick it out to his wide receiver, number 5, S.J. Green, and he's had a few catches tonight.
Yeah, he absolutely has, and that really was the only option that Will had at that point. Just get rid of the ball, not take a hit, and see if we can get something on 2nd down. But you hate that loss of yardage for sure.
Yeah, we were talking about offensive play and calling. It's like playing chess. You gotta figure out what that defense is trying to do. And when you see opportunities to expose them, that's what offense coordinators are looking for.
Absolutely. And I think as offensive coordinators, sometimes overthink about what the defense is going to do. Trust the scouting, trust what you know about the team, and keep with the game plan.
All right, 2nd and 12. Will Griffin with the wide receiver screen, and Jones is all over it.
They were not fooled whatsoever. The blocking just couldn't get there, and they came up and made a really nice play.
This is going to bring up about still 3rd and 12. There was an incomplete pass there. 3rd and 12. Looks like a timeout. Looks like an injury timeout. Again, we were talking about practice time leading up. These kids have been practicing for the last 2.5 weeks. But, John, it has been brutal weather down here in Florida, and the heat has really changed practice schedules. A lot of non-contact drills, a lot of non-pads, in this type of heat with heat index above 115 degrees.
Yeah. They
don't have the ability to put on the pads and get a lot of contact. So you're not going to see a lot of the conditioning we typically see at this point in the year.
100%, and especially with the young athletes. When we're talking about a lot of star sophomores and juniors out here, you really want to get those guys pad ready. The seniors, maybe they've got enough awareness to get themselves where they need to be, but these young athletes just need that. Looks like maybe it was just a cramp out there for the Jones player. He's doing some stretching, trying to get that worked out. Number 2 for Jones, that's James Chenault.
James Chenault, actually, he is one of the best defensive players out there as well. He plays some offense, but he is a lockdown corner for the Jones Tigers.
Nice. Well, getting back lined up here, it's going to be a long 3rd down.
We got 3rd and 12 for Will Griffin and the Jesuit Tigers. Look, you got 3 wide receivers split. You got a couple backers back there for protection. Inside handoff to Justin Thurman. Doesn't get much. Tigers are all over him.
Yeah, they were not fooled by that draw play whatsoever. They were nice, patient, and they worked that side to side on that defensive line. They've been doing it, like you had mentioned, really well all game long.
Sets up 4th and 12. A little bit of a field goal here. We're looking at approximately 42-yarder. But it looks like Jesuit's going for it.
I don't mind this call, especially, with it being a Legacy Classic game. You know what? Go try to score the touchdown.
Situational football. Griffin back to pass. Nice pass to the sideline.
Oh.
Nice job by number 24 for the Jones Tigers. Looks like Cedric Damania, the senior, 5'10", 160, breaks on the ball. Did a wonderful job getting his hand up and breaking that up.
That's 100% how you coach that up. Watch that ball as the hands are up for the wide receiver, punch through the hands, and make sure they can't make that catch. That's textbook football right there. Nice job by the Jones coaching staff in getting their guys ready to play.
No, absolutely. And the other side of that, we talked about that, wasn't a bad decision for Jones or for Jesuit to go for it. How many 4th and 12 situations do you have? Where are you going to be in the 4th quarter when you're down by 7? Absolutely. I think that was a great job by Matt Thompson and his coaching staff. All right, we've got a new quarterback change, and again, they've been very consistent. Darian Coleman is in for Jones. Handoff up the middle, only gets a couple.
Yeah, they went back to the inside. They had a lot of success with that run between the tackles for Jones in the first half. But Jesuit tightens that up a little bit here, and we got another player down.
Yeah, probably another cramp. Can't see the number. Hopefully
Maybe I can see.
Our scouter down on the sideline.
That's right. Our crack sideline staff is working that sideline. Looks like they're it's number 17. It's the guy we've been talking about all game long out there, and hate to see him hurt and not being able to play here in the second half.
Well, John, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about the new project you're working on, Elevated Mission.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I really, just really excited about what we're doing, and we're really trying to help coaches and athletes to be at their peak performance in all areas of life. So you've got, power, peace, and purpose in what you're doing, and so you got to treat the whole man, you know, so you're talking about mind, body, and spirit, and making sure they're at their optimal. So we work with athletes not only to train, to be, you know, in peak performance, running those position drills, doing those things, helping coaches to make sure that they're in peak performance with their with everything they're doing from a coaching standpoint. But we also want to help them neurology, psychology, all those kind of things, and even in their spiritual walk, where they're at, and make sure that they're right in all areas of life.
All right, 2nd and 8, Darian Coleman, inside handoff, and he's still churning, gets about a yard. Looks like back to number 0, Jarian Parker, the senior running back. You know, and the thing is, a lot of people talk about mental health in today's society, and I love what you're doing because we're not waiting for the breakdown. Yeah. We're addressing the mental part of life, the mental part of the game. And I love the mission of what Elevated Mission really is.
Well, I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's so important. Mental health is more important now than it's ever been. We're more connected electronically, but we're more separated than we've ever been. People feel more alone. And those things come out in a lot of different ways. But, you know, when we see that the suicide rates and the, you know, drug addictions and drug overdose rates are shooting up within young people.
Nice shot by Darian Coleman over the middle, gets the first down, and more. He is up the sideline. 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Jones Tigers.
He walks into the end zone with an escort. Nicely done. He was able to slip that tackle, and then it was off to the races.
Up, and we've got the LEDs flying here in Camping World. They are breaking out all the stops as they prepare for the college football season with 2 big bowl games here at Camping World Stadium coming up here in December, with the Pop-Tart Bowl in December, and
nice.
then the Cheez-It Bowl here on January 1st.
Well, those are 2 products that I love, and I'm going to love if we've got some great games going on here in Camping World Stadium. But the high school kids got to love that. Maybe not the Jesuit kids, but I'll tell you the Jones kids got to love that with the lights going on.
And the kick is blocked again, and I tell you what, Coach Elijah Williams is going to be addressing that this week. But what a pitch, what a catch and run by number 8, Jaquez Varner, the senior wide receiver for the Jones Tigers.
Absolutely. Well, we're talking about Elevated Mission, and our crack staff on the sideline is actually Dr. Masibi, one of my board members for Elevated Mission. He's doing a great job spotting for us. Not his day job. Doctor's seeing patients and helping people out and trying to get them right and get them back out on the field.
No, he's doing a wonderful job for us tonight. And, you know, it's great when you've got, you know, and I've been calling games for the last few years, and I enjoy doing this. You know, I enjoy this high school game. You know, yes. It was the starting of my maturity into adulthood, and it's still the baseline of how I run my professional life today is the discipline and the team aspect of what the game of football really provides for these young people. No other sport like this.
There really isn't. I've always said this as an employer for many years. As I've hired people, I've never gone wrong to hire a football player. They've learned discipline. They've learned the grit, the grind of a season. And if you get a football player, they just have an ability to work within a team aspect, but also know the hard work that it takes to get the job done.
All right, with 5:20 left in the game, Jones is getting ready to kick off, up 26-10 over the Jesuit Tigers. Kicking down the field, taking it at the 12-yard line. Justin Thurman up the middle, gets to the outside, still looking for blockers, and taken down about the 41-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Jesuit on these kick returns have really doing a nice job setting up their blocking and allowing their returner to get some nice pathways. You're going to see a lot of returns for touchdowns, I think, out of this Jesuit crew.
And I tell you what, that's the advantage of putting your starting running back as a return person, because he understands what it takes to be patient and look for holes to open up.
100%.
But I tell you what, the kid's got a great acceleration as well, and we've seen him run to the ball tonight. All right, 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Will Griffin back out on the field. The sophomore sensation takes a look, and he's got 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. Jones in a cover 3. Will takes it right down the field. Broken up again, and I tell you what, Jones has missed a few opportunities with interceptions. Looks like number 24.
Yeah, I believe that was.
Cedric Demonia, again, we talked about him earlier in the first half. but that nice break up on the sideline.
Yes.
Not sure that was the right coverage to run that slot route, but
Right.
But, you know, that's part of that maturity, that decision-making process by young Will Griffin.
Absolutely. He did have an opportunity to complete that ball just a little behind him on that throw and really set up that I thought it was going to get picked off, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and a cover 3, though, that free safety is sitting there.
For 100%. That is not the right.
All right, 2nd and 10. Will Griffin taking a look at the field again. Oh, he is going to empty out the backfield. Number 12 coming out from the running back position. They're an empty 5 wide receivers. And he's going to, he's got a slot. Number 5, S.J. Green, the junior.
Able to get a fresh set of downs, settle back in, and see if they can get a touchdown. They really want to get a touchdown on this drive to keep within the, the catching with Jones, because down by 16, you're going to need a touchdown.
And nice opportunity there also to go 5 wide in a zone coverage too, because now you're just picking holes.
Absolutely.
And Will Griffin did a wonderful job sitting back and recognizing that coverage and taking that short game. Again, we got quads to the bottom of the screen, empty backfield again. And Griffin flushed out of the pocket, and he has a receiver, picks up a few. Number 3 has been Mr. Consistency tonight, Willie Suarez, the 5'11 senior.
Well, I was going to say before the snap that when you're, giving your offensive line that kind of assignment where, you've got 5 wide outs, they've really got to be able to stand up to a really good defensive line by Jones. Didn't actually happen. They were able to get some penetration. They were able to get a hit on the quarterback, but he did a nice job staying composed, getting the ball off before he went down.
And a lot of you might be taking a look at the screen tonight and wondering what happened here in the second half. We actually lost a camera, so we're giving you a wide view of the field tonight. We had a high-low setup, but lost a camera here at halftime. Sorry about that, but we're getting a good view here. And as we look at Jones, we got a player down right now, probably cramping again. Looks like
I haven't gotten the number quite yet.
Not a number just yet. Looks like it's a defensive lineman.
Yeah, that's the area where he was standing at when he went down. So I'm going to guess it's one of those big hosses.
So, I'm not sure how much pickle juice Coach Williams has on the sideline for Jones, but it seems like we've seen the Jones Tigers cramp up a little bit here in the second half.
Yeah. Again, these are all issues. Beginning of the season, you're in the Florida heat, but you've been having to deal with this Florida heat all through the preseason, and that's the challenge for sure.
Well, let's take a look at a few scores from around the area, and we'll see what Score Stream is doing, how these guys are doing, getting these scores updated here.
That was number 11, by the way. It was actually one of the DBs that was had gone down there. It looks like, it may have been a cramp, like you said, because they're not taking them to the table, not taking them under the tent to look at anything.
All right, the Apopka Blue Darters are at Kissimmee Osceola. They are up 9-7 at the half. Also, Oviedo is at Deltona. They lead in the third quarter, 35-0, as Will Griffin comes up and is looking at 2nd and 8. 2 to the top. Got a motion man. Takes a snap. Looks like a tight end. Looks like an inside screen to number 8. Max Hunt, the 6'5", 195 wide receiver.
Yeah, it was a nice middle screen setup there, but just could not get, those guys were able to recover for Jones and actually make the play. The setup was well. It just didn't pull off in actuality.
Yeah, almost like a tight end screen with him, but,
yes.
I think I would want a 240-pound tight end with that inside screen than a 190-pound wide receiver.
Right, no, he looks like a tight end height-wise. He's still got some filling in to do to be a tight end.
All right, 3rd and 6. Jesuit up to the line of scrimmage. Will Griffin takes a look with 3 to the top. Empty backfield. Flushed out of the pocket. Looks downfield, and he's going to be hit. He is going down there at the sideline. Looks like number 35 for the Jones Tigers, Steven Casas, the junior linebacker, 6'3", 220. he's going to be another kid we're going to be looking at here this season.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you don't want your quarterback taking those hits. And I think if Will would have got the ball out very quickly over to Thurman, basically once he swung out to make that an empty backfield, Jones was slow to react to go out and cover him in the flats.
It's almost a bubble play.
Right.
So, that's something, again, we're going to see the maturity process here over the next several weeks.
Absolutely.
Of both teams. All right, looks like Jesuit's sitting back to punt. Gets the punt off, low, taken at the 21-yard line. And they get him out of bounds. Looks like they got him out of bounds about the 39-yard line.
He danced that sideline pretty well.
He did. I thought he stepped out a little bit earlier, but the referees even need a little bit of time to get acclimated to the heat and to the pace of the game coming into the 2023 season.
I got to believe those refs are, they're sucking a little bit of wind at the beginning of the season right now. But we sure do appreciate these officials. The game doesn't happen if these guys aren't out there calling these games.
No doubt about it. An officiating crisis is definitely going on. We need more officials. So if you enjoy watching the game at home, think how much better it'd be on the field calling these as an official. All right, so right now it looks like we have got number 3, Trevor Jackson, back in the game, I believe, at quarterback, and we do.
Yes.
Inside run again with Jerian Parker, and he has been a workhorse for the Jones Tigers tonight.
Absolutely. Nice little 2.5, 3-yard pickup on that. Jesuits tightened it up a little bit on the inside, and they're having to work a little harder for those inside runs.
All right. Trevor Jackson gets the play, get back to the line of scrimmage. We got twins at the top. Jesuit sitting in the cover 3. Looks like a quarterback keeper. Inside read. Quarterback's going to take it. Looks like the ball might be on the ground there. Is he down? Looks like a turnover. The Jesuit Tigers have it.
Yeah, Jones was playing a numbers game there. They just threw the kitchen sink right into the, inside the tackles. You had that H-back. You had the running back coming leading up through there, helping out the offensive line to give the quarterback some room. But at the end of the day, Jesuit's able to knock that ball out and get the ball back for their offense and give them another shot at scoring.
All right, the Tigers set up at the 50-yard line with 2 minutes, 1 second left in the third quarter. The Jones Tigers are up 26-10 right now in the third. And number 8, Max Hunt, looked like he limped off the sideline a little while ago. He's back out on the field. Number 3, Mr. Consistent, Willie Suarez, lines up at the bottom of the screen. Griffin takes the handoff. Inside handoff to Thurman, and wow. Number looks like 77.
Yeah, came up, laid the wood, and then piled on that wood pile to finish off that tackle.
If that is 77, then that is Mr. Jakari Leonard, a sophomore, 6'4", 310 sophomore. Jones has some talent that is young here, and I'll tell you what, I knew that going into the spring, but to see some of these guys get some of this playing time here in the second half is great.
Well, sophomore, that's a young man, but has a grown man's body, and when that hits, that hurts.
Looks like we got a water timeout. Jesuits coming back out, looking at 2nd and 15. It's a good test for the young quarterback, Will Griffin. Number 11.
Yeah, we'll see if they can dial up something here.
Has trips to the top of the screen. Back to pass.
Well, he's got
nice ball on the sideline. Picked off. Jones Tigers down the sideline. And he comes down at the 17-yard line, waiting to see who got that ball. But looked like a wheel route, John, that they were trying to run there, and you've got to stick that early.
Yeah, absolutely. He put a little too much air, went a little too late with the throw, and they were able to just play robber and just take that thing away.
Yeah, that's typically a route you want to run against man coverage.
Absolutely.
And unless you're seeing a corner cheat or not be as disciplined, but I tell you what, whoever that was, and we're trying to figure out who that was that picked it off.
Yeah, let's see.
We're not our sideline spotter is a little late getting that for us here.
Yeah, I think he's trying to figure it out, and hopefully we'll get you that number here real soon.
It looks like it might be number 11, Tariq Hollinger, the senior defensive back. Could be wrong, but it looks like that's who it was.
He's been doing a nice job in the defensive backfield all night long, and we've seen that a couple times out of Will. Again, folks, really super talented quarterback, but he's awfully young, and he's playing against a very talented defensive backfield.
All right, Darian Coleman back in the offense. Handoff up the middle.
So I think you're seeing a couple times where he's misread the coverage. We've seen him twice throw a ball that probably in that coverage was not the right throw. They'll be working on that in the film room this next week and probably dialing that up a little bit better for as he moves forward in the season.
Nice slide inside, number 15 for Jones. Walkie Ambrose again, sophomore, 6'1", 170. Great read by Darian Coleman, sticks it in there against that coverage, and we have another Jones touchdown. With 27 seconds left in the third quarter, the Jones Tigers are up 32-10, waiting for the point after attack. And I tell you what, we're getting a good look at that new LED lighting system here at Camping World Stadium.
Love it. It's super fun. And if you're out here watching a football game, it's going to make the touchdowns that much more exciting.
And I tell you, the crew here at Camping World Stadium has been absolutely wonderful to us today.
Awesome.
And I want to thank all of our friends at Florida Central Sports for allowing us to come in and broadcast this game today. And again, it is blocked. Number 4 for Jesuit looked like could be Drew Woodis. The senior defensive end or outside linebacker committed to Clemson with that block. And the kicking troubles continue for the Jones Tigers.
Absolutely. There hasn't been a lot of Achilles heels for the Jones program tonight, but I definitely think the special teams has been that if there is one.
And we talked about Jones' brutal schedule here in the first few weeks of the season. Next Friday, they host their season opener with the defending 2S state champion Cocoa Tigers coming here to downtown Orlando, and that's going to be brutal. I'll be over at that game next week.
Going to be a nice game. We're going to see a lot of good football there for sure. I think it's going to keep Coach Williams up at night tonight, that special teams problems that he's been having. He's going to want to get that cleaned up before he heads into that football game for sure.
Yeah, we were talking about our friend Coach Ed Shank.
Yes,
the
sir.
Coach just texted me. He said, "You and Ruggles, man, you guys are pretty good." And I said, "Hey, I like that, Coach."
Well, if we got the approval from Coach Shank, then, I feel good about just where we're at with the broadcast.
And I'll tell you what a great friend he has been to both of us.
Yes.
and what he does over especially, not only in the state, in this area, but especially over the Tampa area with these young student athletes. A man of great character and a man that puts his heart out there for high school football.
100%. I mean, his only objective is to help other people, and you watch it in his actions. I love when people come in, they say great things, but when you watch a man's actions, you really learn the most about them. And Coach Shank, he's a man that he lives up with the words he says with his actions.
Well, they say character is what you have when people aren't looking, right?
100%.
All right, kickoff by Jones, kicks it deep. Looks like number 2 bobbles it, picks it up at the 7-yard line, brings it up, and that is Justin Thurman, the running back, the Notre Dame commit. Had a hard time getting a handle on that football.
Yeah, he's a really super talented player. I hate to see him slow to get up there. Probably just got twisted a little bit, but he's going to be fine. I think he's not even coming off the field.
No, and I wouldn't expect him to. He's a warrior. He's a warrior. Looks like he is going to come off. Looks like he has a little bit of a limp, so he's going to go over and get that checked out. And number 3 is coming off, Suarez, and I tell you, he's been a warrior tonight as a slot receiver.
Yeah.
So Will Griffin and the Jesuit Tigers are going to start this drive with 19 seconds left in the third quarter and down by 22 points. Can they get something going here with the fourth quarter looming here in a few seconds?
I hope Will's able to rebound from that interception and get his confidence back going.
And number 13 with a quick hitch. Bryson Goodwin again, and he's been a top target tonight.
Well, it's an excellent call by Coach Thompson. You know what? Make an easy pitch and throw for your young quarterback that just threw a big pick. You know, get him back into a rhythm, help him to get on the right side of things going into the fourth quarter. You got a long season ahead. This is just a preseason game, and you want to make sure that mentally your young quarterback is ready to play the rest of the season.
And don't get me wrong, Will Griffin, I tell you, you know, as he matures and as he starts understanding this game a little bit better, he is going to be something special to watch.
Well, you could just see it. You just walk up to the young man down on the field, and you go, "Okay, this is a dude." All right.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks the part, he smells the part, and he has an air of confidence about him, which you want in your quarterback. And so these small little things that we're talking about, you know, misreading coverage, throwing the ball a little bit high, all those kind of things, they're all going to clear up for him, and you're going to see him in a Power 5 conference in a few years, and he's going to have a heck of a high school career.
I tell you what, if you're just turning in, we're starting the fourth quarter. Dan LaForest here with John Ruggles. This has been a fun game, and you know, the score is Jones has popped up ahead, taking advantage of some things, but we've seen some consistencies with both programs.
Absolutely. Well-coached programs. They both teams know what they want to do from an offense and a defensive standpoint, and they're just working those things out, getting ready for a season. I wouldn't be surprised, again, like we said at the beginning of the broadcast, to see these two teams face each other once it comes playoff time.
Will Griffin's sitting back in the shotgun, empty backfield.
Little baby roll out there. I'll tell you what, that number 7 for Jesuit, Gary Givens the third, who's a wide receiver, he's 6'2", 190. He was complaining a little bit about maybe the DB came a little early. It might have been a touch early, but I think it was pretty good defense.
Sitting at 3rd and 2. Good position right now as an offense coordinator.
Absolutely. Great place to be.
Running the plays. It's like they're running the plays in right now, too.
Maybe getting a little rotation at some of those skilled positions, seeing some other players get some reps.
We got 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Thurman in the backfield with Will Griffin. Griffin takes a snap. Back to pass, out to the flat, gets the first down. Looks like number 8, Max Hunt.
I'm going to want to keep an eye on that young man all season long. I'll tell you what, he's doing some nice things. We hadn't really heard about him much before the pregame, and just been really impressed. Nice 6'5" frame, like we keep saying, and he's got good hands.
He reminds me a little bit of former Florida Gator Chris Doring.
Oh yeah, that's a nice comparison.
You know, he's not going to be the fastest guy on the field, but I tell you what, he's a nice target, especially when you need him the most. And Chris has told me some great stories about his playing days.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he gets a little bit of strength, gets a little muscle on that frame, it's going to help him get a little bit of distance from those DBs, because he can, with the muscle, push off a little bit.
And again, Will Griffin takes advantage of an uncovered receiver, number 3, Willie Suarez, with a quick hitch, gets a couple, brings up 2nd and 8.
But you got some positive yards, right? It's good to see Jesuit going in the positive direction as they're moving the ball down the field. You just want to keep that rhythm going. Even if it's 2-3 yards, we just want them going that direction.
Plays coming in. Looks like they're slowing down the pace a little bit. 10:38 left in the game. And they've got twins at the bottom of the field, short side of the field for Will Griffin. Back with the H-back. Going to put number 5 in motion. Fakes the handoff over the middle. 13, wow, throws into double coverage. Number 13, Bryson Goodwin, just could not come up with it. And he looks like he may have taken a knee, but he's going to bounce up here. He's a tough kid. May have sprained, maybe twisted his ankle a little bit. He's going to try to walk it off.
That was a dangerous throw, I'll tell you what, from either the interception perspective or getting your wide receiver really hit.
Yeah, that window got real tight real quick. And, quarterback, I could tell you, that's a tough thing to know that you're sticking it into somewhere tight, because you're a millimeter off from an amazing play
Yes.
or a catastrophic collision. And you know, Will Griffin is going to learn these things as he continues his progression.
I'm excited to see him as a senior high school football player.
Oh, I can't wait till about 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Will Griffin fakes the handoff, 3rd and 8. A little bit of pressure, gets it upfield, picked off again. Looks like number 2.
Yes.
Number 2, James Chenault. We talked about him earlier. He's playing the offensive side of the ball. I told you he is a difference maker on the defense.
Yes.
And he sat back and waited for that ball to get in the air. And James Chenault, the 6 foot 180 pound senior, comes up with is that the 3rd interception of the night?
It's at least the 2nd. I know we had that long interception along the. We've had a few close calls. In addition to that, maybe. Coach Shank he might text us in on exactly how many interceptions.
He's over here blowing up my phone, so
we'll hear about it if we're wrong at all on those calls.
all the way home.
Yeah.
So
well, I'll tell you what.
Ed. Yeah. Love you, Ed. All right, we're sitting now. You've got Trevor Jackson back in the game at quarterback for the Jones Tigers. 1st and 10. Just loses his footing. Takes a 1-yard loss.
Just a little slippery out there. I'll tell you what, I think a lot of that, even in that interception there for Will Griffin, is just hanging onto the ball a little too long, trying to make something happen. You know, you feel the pressure of being the quarterback, being the star on the team, and you go, you know what, I'm going to make something happen when there's really nothing to happen. You know, just eat the sack and take the ball to the ground.
All right, 2nd and 13. Trevor Jackson overtaking the field there, fakes the handoff. Takes off up the sideline, 30, takes it out about the 35, 36, makes it about 3rd and 5 coming up here. And I tell you, that was a great decision by Trevor.
It's exactly what you want your quarterback to do. This, again, is not for a state championship. You know, and you got the lead, you got 22-point lead. Just get the ball down the field and then don't get hit. Getting re-lined up out here for the Jones on 3rd down, and I'd say about 6 coming up here, and we'll see what they've got dialed up. Coach Elijah Williams always has something fun.
Tell you what, I just got a text from former Jones quarterback and Grambling State quarterback Julian Calvez watching the game tonight. Touchdown, Jones Tigers.
That was a heck of an effort by that young man. He came in, looked like he was going to go down on the tackle, and he just refused to stop. He was going to score that 6 points no matter what.
Tell you what, that's a great job by Trevor Jackson. Again, he has the maturity, has the experience, and he just hasn't had a lot of time with his teammates. He transferred in about a month ago from another program, and, you know, again, to see Trevor bring the experience and the leadership that he's going to bring to Jones is going to be something to watch as they get into the brutal part of their schedule here over the next few weeks.
Absolutely. And Christian Robbins was that athlete that just he got hit, he withstood the hit, he did some juking, he moved around, he was able to not take the big blow and get into the end zone for a touchdown. Really impressive by that young man.
All right, looks like extra point attempt. Looks like they went for 2 there.
They did, that's for sure. And, well, they've had so much struggle in the extra point category all night long.
You know, again, Kickoff Classic allows you to take a look at different game scenarios, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some of the second-team guys start coming in right now to give them some game time experience. You know, I know talking to Matt Thompson earlier in the game, he was really unsure of what, you know, they were going to do in the fourth quarter, if they were going to give some JV reps or what they were going to do. But I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some backup people coming in, some backup quarterbacks, backup offensive linemen, getting them on the field and getting them some game time.
I mean, I think, you know, at this point with 9 minutes left in the ball game, you got a 28-point lead. I think both coaching staffs are going to want to see some guys that maybe they've seen do some really nice things in practice, but haven't been able to see him on the field and say, hey, let's get him some reps and see what he can do.
Oh, 9:19 left in the fourth. Jones is getting ready to kick off, and I tell you what, we've been talking about the excitement of the 2023 season. Both programs have the meat of their schedules coming up here over the next several weeks. What are some of the takeaways you've gotten so far away tonight? You know, what have you seen that gives both programs a lot of hope as they get ready for the season opener?
Well, you know, one thing as a coach that you got to have is you got to have the Jimmies and the Joes on the field to be able to execute your plan. We know these are two top-notch coaches. They're always going to, you know, the staffs are going to be putting the players in the right positions and getting them some opportunities to win football games.
Look at Willie Suarez with a couple moves. Nice return up to the 40-yard line.
He's a nice-looking athlete.
I tell you what, right now, he's my MVP.
I'll tell you what, yeah, and that's what I think that the fans, the parents, you know, everybody that's supporting these two programs is going to be able to take away is that these teams have those athletes that can compete at top level. And you know what? Some of them are young. They got to, you know, work a few things out, or they're just newly into the program, so they got to get that timing and they've got to get that rhythm with their teammates in. And so I'm not worried about either of these teams having just a fantastic season.
Oh, absolutely not. We talked about beginning of the broadcast. Both of these teams were one game away from facing each other in the state championship,
Right.
Both being 3M classification. And this has got to get you excited. It looks like we got a timeout for Jones. And I tell you what, you take a look at Camping World, they've got all the bright lights going. It's a beautiful stadium, and there is more expansion. I'm actually a member with Florida Citrus Sports, and they're awaiting the county's decision on funding of expanding this stadium again.
Oh, wow.
You know, they are looking at putting a roof just like Hard Rock, where they've got the seats covered.
Yes.
You got to look at all of the events that they have here at Camping World Stadium. It's not just the Pop-Tart Bowl or the Cheez-It Bowl.
Right.
They host concerts. I mean, I've seen Billy Joel. I've seen Elton John here. You know, we're talking about Coach Thompson, saw Garth Brooks.
Yes.
You know, they have wonderful events here at Camping World Stadium. They have WWE events here.
Yeah.
They've had WrestleMania here in the past. So Camping World Stadium is a great asset for the city of Orlando, and the people here, Steve Hogan and his people here with the Florida Citrus Sports, do a wonderful job putting together events, and there's so much more to come. They had a big World Soccer tournament here a few weeks ago. So, you know, with the new bullet train that they're putting between Orlando and Miami, there's a lot of opportunity. Will Griffin, throws it, just misses. Wide receiver down the field.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you have not been to Camping World Stadium, I'm just saying, do yourself a favor and come to an event here. I don't care what it is, like you said, whether it's a concert, whether it's a wrestling event, whether it's a football game, whatever the event is, it's a great place to see whatever it is that you're coming out to see.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And I tell you, they get this thing completed. You know, they're still in the mix. You know, we're getting ready to go into the college football playoff system.
Yes, yes.
So we don't know how that's going to play out, but how does the city of Orlando, because at the end of the day, we got the Pro Bowl. We're talking about that coming back here in February.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's a lot going on here in Orlando, and Orlando being the travel destination of the United States. Number 8 on the reception. Great job by Max Hunt again, and he's been Mr. Consistent and Mr. Available for Will Griffin there when he needed him the most.
Yeah, very productive wide receiver tonight. Impressed with this young junior player. He's got a lot of football this season that he's going to be a really nice player for Jesuit for sure.
All right, Jesuit Tigers with 1st and 10 on the Jones 49-yard line. We've got 9 minutes left in the game. I'd like to see them get down the field and stick this thing in the end zone. Empty backfield, 4 to the bottom of the screen.
Watch number 2 in this set. He's a dynamic player.
They tried to go backside, watching that safety rock over there, going back to the big man, Max Hunt, incomplete.
I tell you what, you talk about college football. Been a lot of shakeup in kind of that, Big Five conferences, and we'll see how that plays out as we move forward with the playoff system and all those things. You got Big Ten adding 4 teams from the Pac-12. You've got the SEC now going to be adding Texas and Oklahoma. The haves and the have-nots are really coming to play, and the Big Ten and the SEC really just,
and not to mention UCF.
Oh yeah,
going into the Big 12.
Wow, yeah. Huge. We're going to see what UCF does with that. I'm excited to see what UCF looks like in that Big 12 schedule.
Oh, number 2, Justin Thurman. Can't get a handle on it.
And how about Deion Sanders out there in Colorado? That's a fun just situation going on out there. I don't know if he has any players left on scholarship, but I'll tell you what, he is doing some really great things, and it's exciting. It's exciting.
Well, he played for Jimmy Johnson, and Jimmy Johnson went to the Cowboys. He cleaned house.
Yeah.
And I think Deion's been around the block. Coach Sanders, Coach Prime has been around the block. He understands what it takes to make a winning program. And unfortunately, sometimes players don't like that.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's like you and I used to say as coaches, the guys who stay are the guys who are going to be smiling.
Absolutely.
And, sacrifice is the key to success. Number 8, Will Hunt,
I think
just can't come down with it. He had it, couldn't, but what a wonderful job by that Jones defensive back. Stick his arm in there and break that up. Brings up 4th and 10. It looks like Jones is going to come out, or Jesuit's going to come out and punt it away.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. When you're talking about Coach Prime, he does understand those things. He knows how to build that program. And, Colorado has had some nice years in the long past, but it's been a little while since Colorado's played good football. So, a little shakeup isn't a bad thing.
All right, Jesuit back to punt. Doesn't have much behind that one. Fielded by Jones. Still on his feet. Looks like number 22 for Jesuit.
Cyrus Abode.
Cyrus Abode, again, senior outside linebacker, 6'2", 210, with a nice tackle on that.
I'll tell you what, just because of that low trajectory of that punt, he took off like a cannon. I thought, well, he might have a shot at doing something on that. See what...
So it looks like it may be Darian Coleman's opportunity to come back out if they keep with the rotation. Nope, it's going to be Trevor Jackson coming back out at quarterback, number 3.
I don't mind that call. I like him getting a little bit of extra reps. I think that he's still looking for that rhythm with his team.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a special bond, I can tell you, with a quarterback and his wide receivers. Nice slot out there, looks like number 22 on the reception, which is Josiah Loving.
Yeah. He
sets up 2nd and 5.
I think he slipped just a little bit. That turf seems to be in the second half. The players seem to be just slipping just a little bit. Otherwise, I think he would have picked up probably some more yards on that.
Trevor Jackson hands the ball inside. Picks up about 6. First down, Jones. And again, number 20, Dante Wallace, has done a good job being the other side of the coin for Jerian Parker tonight, giving Jerian a break running the ball. And Jerian Parker did a wonderful job running that ball in the first half for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, you just want to keep those sticks moving, just keep that drive going. It's great practice in game situation for your players to be able to just get into a rhythm and know what a long drive looks like.
All right, looks like cover 2 for Jesuit. Trevor Jackson comes up the line, takes a snap, inside handoff. Again, nice job, 6 yards by Dante Wallace.
Yeah, again, another nice hole by that offensive line from Jones, just really opening things up and giving their skilled players an opportunity to do something.
And this is what you want to do as a head coach, as an offensive coordinator, is late in the game, up by 28 points. You want to be able to run the ball. It's all ball control. It's clock control. And this is a good opportunity for Jones to continue to read that defense and run their offense.
Yeah, 100%. You don't want to put Jesuit back on the field, give the ball back in their hands. Just run out the clock and win the game.
All right, 2nd and 5, 6:23, handoff. Nope, wide receiver screen out to the outside. Great job by the Jesuit Tigers bringing down number 4. Looks like Drew Woodas again, the Clemson commit.
Be able to get a dynamic athlete like that down in such a quick fashion. I've been very impressed with both defenses in their side-to-side movement. They're very fast. They're able to play both sideline to sideline.
And they've got Drew right now at free safety, the 6'3", 185-pounder. And you know what, Dabo Sweeney, if he is going to go after you,
yeah,
Dabo knows what defensive players look like.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Looks like they're just going to continue to run that clock down as Trevor gets to the outside there and loses a few. Jones Tiger sits on 4th and 8, 4th and 9 with 5 minutes, 22 seconds left in the game.
We'll see if they punt. Last time they punted, it only yielded about 6 yards. They might actually go for it here.
And you are right, John, because they are going to go for it. 4th and 9, Trevor Jackson, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom, and offsides. We have movement. What happened here? Ball still alive. Did not
whistle.
There was no whistle. There was no whistle. Looks like Trevor Jackson's been sacked.
What's going to set up Jesuit
and
offense?
That's Jesuit ball. Jesuit has great field position, looking like right around the 41. It looks like referee timeout. With 4:54 left in the 4th quarter, the Jones Tigers lead the Jesuit Tigers 38-10.
Yeah, I think most of the players on the field thought that the play was over, but no whistle had happened, and so
that was surprising. I saw encroachment, whether
Yeah.
it was false start or the defensive line encroached. A flag should have been thrown there. But again, guys, the referees are coming and shaking off the cobwebs and knocking the dust off their shoulders and their whistles. You know, this is a new season for them as well. And, you know, this is Dan LaForest and John Ruggles calling the game here. And we've had a great time. You know, Quick Cut Sports, what a great opportunity to work with them. Brian Kells and Mark and these guys running the production here. Want to give a big shout out to Todd DeNoyer for stepping up. You know, they asked if somebody could come out and do a broadcast here. Not a lot of glitz and glamour on the screen, but you know, we wanted to get this thing going, and you know, it's been great calling this game with you, John. All right. Oh, loses his footing.
Yes. Still kept his composure and caught the football.
And that's a tough spot for Will Griffin, too. I tell you, when you see your wide receiver fall down, to keep your composure and to throw the ball out there with the trust that he's going to get up and catch that ball.
100%.
Great job by Will Griffin. Looks like, again, number 8, Max Hunt. And he's going to be Mr. Possession for Will Griffin and the Jesuit Tigers going into 2023. And I tell you what, he has proven to be a valuable commodity.
No, there's no doubt about that. He is Mr. Consistency, and they're going to lean on him a lot this year, I believe. But, yeah, no, it's been a blast broadcasting with you, Dan. Hope we get to do it again soon.
Will Griffin out to the side here, takes the scrambles, gets to the sideline, picks up a few.
Yeah, and the whole production crew, just a great evening here at Camping World Stadium. What a great night to see the season get kicked off with 2 great football teams, and just a lot of fun here in Orlando.
Looking at 3rd and 5. The Tigers looking to move on the Tigers here and put some points up on the board with 4:05 left in the game.
Jones having yet another player cramping up on the sideline. Going to need that calf rolled out a little bit. But, yeah. Coach,
pickle juice, John. Pickle juice.
Yeah. One thing is, as a coach, you don't want to have is key players unavailable to you for whatever reason.
Yeah. Week 1. It's for real next week.
Yep.
All right, Will Griffin back to pass. Nice shot out to the flat. Number 6 looks like Trent Teeling, the junior, 5'10", 160. First time we've heard his name near here tonight. So it looks like he's trying to get some other guys into the game right now.
Nice job, and he did he had a nice route. He caught the ball, see ball, catch ball, and he did a really good job with his first opportunity. And you can see, Will Griffin having belief even in players that maybe haven't gotten a ton of snaps, just going ahead and throwing it to the guy that's open.
I tell you what, you got to be excited if you're a Jesuit Tiger fan, because the youth on this team is going to really show a lot of things. Nice ball up in the air. Will Griffin, touchdown. Oh, he drops the ball.
But there is a hanky on the field. We'll see what that's. If that's on the defense, I believe it is.
That was a great read by Will Griffin and great ball placement. I tell you what, that's exactly where you want to put it and give your wide receiver a chance to come down with it for a touchdown.
Yeah, we've talked about the young man making some mistakes with judgment and throughout the game, learning opportunities for him. That was a perfect thrown ball right in the right place, and you see the talent of that young man.
Okay, they're trying to sort things out here. We got 3:53 left on the clock. Jesuit Tigers, 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Will Griffin's got 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. And they're going to move the ball again. Looks like they move it up a couple more yards. So the ball's placed on the 13-yard line, 1st and 10 Tigers.
Jesuit will take it another 3 yards, get them a little closer to that end zone. They want to put a touchdown on that. Nice opportunity. He threw a nice ball in a tight window, just a little bit high on that. It's what we saw early in the first half.
Looking at 2nd and 10. 3:48 on the clock. Jesuit down by 28.
Seen a few more hands on the hips out there with 3:48 left. These players are getting in shape, like you've talked about, Dan, for regular season football.
All right. Well, Griffin checking his protection there. Jones is pressing in man coverage. Motion number 5. Inside handoff. He's going to bounce to the outside.
He's got a little
Justin
room.
Thurman in for the touchdown. Jesuit Tigers.
Nicely done. I'll tell you what, it was a good play call. Great blocking by Jesuit and a good run by Thurman, the Notre Dame commit, getting into that end zone, seeing pay dirt.
It's good to see Jesuit take advantage of that too, understanding man coverage, being able to isolate that end and get that running back on the edge.
That's what you got to do.
Great play call.
Yeah,
great play call by the coaching staff.
Absolutely. Taking advantage of what the defense gives you.
So they are going to set up and go for 2. Jesuit down 38-16 with 3:39 on the clock. Looks like they're going to take a timeout. So we got about 60 seconds to burn here, John, before they come out and try to go for that 2-point conversion.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a beautiful night out here. Like you said, we got to see the new LED lights in Camping World Stadium. That was super fun. And just 2 great programs and a lot of good people just doing a lot of great things here in Camping World Stadium tonight.
This is the 2023 football season. Again, you're watching Quick Cut Sports. And Quick Cut, I tell you, Quick Cut's done a wonderful job too. I mean, this isn't their primary business. You know, they're big into videography. They're big into highlights. You know, there a lot of competition out there in that field right now. But you know, Orange County Public Schools asked us to come out and do this broadcast tonight, and hopefully they've enjoyed this. Lonnie Flores, the Orange County Athletic Director, he and I talked a few times this week about getting this thing done, and it's been great to put this together and have high school football back in the living rooms. Great job by Will Griffin with that bootleg. Hits number 9, looks like number 9, Mickey Vernon for the 2-point conversion. A freshman, 5'9", 145.
Nicely done. Good play call. Get the defense flowing one way, come back the other way, and get the 2-point conversion. I'll tell you what, if this is any indication of what the 2023 season is going to look like, it's going to be a great season. I'm excited about what's going on here on the football field. Two just really exciting programs, and it's been a fun game to watch and get the season kicked off. That's for sure. Well, quick cuts. I had an opportunity when we did the media day over at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Raymond James Stadium. I was able to sit down and talk with those guys a little bit and see some more about their product, what they're doing. I'll tell you what, just some really innovative stuff, just a great program. Opportunity for any coaches that are looking for maybe a different solution than they currently have in their filming. It's a great opportunity to get a really nice product.
No, it really is. As we get ready for Jesuit kicking off. Looks like they're going to do an offside kick. Oh, and it's almost successful. So Jones is going to get the ball about the 48-yard line. Let's take a look at some scores. Right now, Apopka is leading Osceola at Osceola 16-15 in the fourth quarter. Lake Mary up a big on Bishop Moore, 31-10. Haggerty has now taken the lead over Lake Nona, 21-17. Oviedo leads Deltona 35-0 in the third. And Lyman big over Colonial, 37-0 in the fourth quarter. Gainesville Buchholz visits Wekiva just down the road. Buchholz up 28-14 at the half. Wildwood over Crescent City, 21-7. As Trevor Jackson comes back out with the Jones offense, sitting in at quarterback number 3, hands the ball off. Looks like number 20 again. Dante Wallace.
That was some just really nice.
That was a hard run.
Yeah.
That was just a hard run.
Yeah, I like to see that. A guy that it seems to almost accelerate into contact.
Dante Wallace and Jerian Parker need to thank every one of those offensive linemen tonight because they have done an amazing job.
Yeah.
Leading the way and taking care of business against a very, very difficult Jesuit defensive line.
Well, when your first contact on a run is happening 3, 4, 5 yards downfield, that's a really good opportunity as a running back to make some really nice plays.
Tell you what, year 2 of the Rick Darlington era, D-Land up 36-14 over West Orange. Trevor Jackson gets sacked, takes about a 6-yard loss, sets about 3rd and 8.
Just a misfire on the snap there, and at least he was able to get it back into his hands and get it in Jones's for another 3rd down instead of that it's 1st down for Jesuit.
We got the Melbourne Bulldogs up 28-21 over Lake Brantley. It is a final in Sanford. Seminole beats Edgewater 16-7. Lake Howell with a huge win over Cypress Creek, 50-0.
Wow.
And Windermere has fought back. They are up 24-21 over Tavares. Trevor Jackson, nice route to the side, picks up about 6 to number 13. Sean Murphy with a reception. Another speedster for Jones, the 6'1", 185-pound junior. That's the kind of depth that Jones has at wide receiver when a Sean Murphy is just now getting some balls here in the fourth quarter.
I just say it's nice to see him get some love. We know he's a super talented player, and nice ball too. That was, sometimes we were seeing some of these as our quarterbacks have been rolling out and delivering balls.
Trevor Jackson steps up, takes off with the ball. Nice job taking on those defensive guys. Picks up about 7 yards in the 1st down. He did not want to come down, John.
No, he did not. He definitely wanted to fight for the extra yards. That's that +2 yard mentality that you want to see out of your players, and really nice. What I was saying about the quarterback on the last play, I've seen a lot of, as the quarterbacks are rolling out or they're scrambling out to the side, that they don't get their feet in proper position before they release the ball. That was beautiful job by that young man on that last throw, and he set up his feet exactly what you want as you're rolling out, and really nice play by him.
All right, so with about 44 seconds left in the game, Trevor Jackson sitting out there trying to figure out what play he's going to run. With 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom, inside handoff.
Wow.
And they had all kinds of guys in the box. It's still a wonderful job blocking, and nice run again by number 20, Dante Wallace. And that should do it, John. That is it for the 2023 Kickoff Classic here in Orlando, Florida, here at Camping World Stadium. The Jones Tigers beat the Jesuit Tigers 38-18, and we've talked about this. Don't let the score fool you. We saw a lot of great things in both of these programs with the shortened preseason that we've had here in the state of Florida with the heat and the ability to have this type of practice, and when you've got conditioning and you've got the inability to actually have contact. Football is a contact sport.
100%.
And when you can't have contact, it's going to take a little longer for these things to develop.
Yeah, and especially when we're talking about these players and we keep on saying sophomore, junior, that makes a big difference when those players they're not able to have that contact, the things that they need to get ready for a season in a normal pace, because they're just so young. They can't be ready for a high school varsity football season like a senior might be able to.
Well, that's it for the Quick Cut Sports broadcast of the Jones Tigers and Jesuit Tigers. I'm Dan LaForest. That's John Ruggles, and we'll see you soon.
It's great having you guys.